Not ready yet. No, it is. There you go. It's now live.
Woo!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Outcasted OC's WrestleMania 39 predictions. Can I get some hype?
Let's go!
I mean, I'm in the fitting attire.
Yes,
So
you are.
if you didn't notice, we have Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, and Northern Australia. I was going to say Australian.
Oh.
Every time. This is going to be a running joke.
G'day, mate. How's it going in Australia there, Courtney?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you, mate?
I'm so sorry.
It's
they're the same place to me. That's just how it works. It's just how it works.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's all good.
Anyway,
Lauren is going to be joining us.
Who's excited for WrestleMania weekend? There is so much going on this weekend.
So much going on. Like, you got NXT Stand and Deliver, you got WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, you've got ROH going on. Like, what the hell is going on with this week? So much wrestling. Hall of Fame as well.
Hall of Fame
what the
tonight,
hell?
SmackDown tonight.
It's insane. 3
nights of wonderful wrestling.
It's too much for my little brain to handle.
It is, definitely.
It's just too much for my sleep pattern to handle, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Don't know about my brain.
Might have to get some Pizza Hut to help me through, you know?
Oh, I think Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut, if you're in here.
Yeah, Pizza Hut, we at you enough. You should come say hi, you know?
I know, right?
My goal is to be sponsored by Pizza Hut.
Oh, yes. Can I get a slice of the revenue?
Nice.
That was really good. Look at you go, Reese.
Always on point.
Before we jump into the matches for WrestleMania, do we want to talk about Hall of Fame first? Should we do that?
Yeah, I'm down to talk about Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Anybody go? I don't really know what to say about Hall of Fame.
Let's start off with the obvious one, really, like Rey Mysterio, like going in while he's still an active competitor on the roster, which is like I don't think that's happened a lot. Like, honestly, like, I feel like that's like a handful of times where it's actually happened.
There hasn't been many.
Yeah, I was going to say there's not been many, or they've gone in as like they're a faction group, so they're still active or they're still doing things, but they went in as their group. Like, pretty sure some of DX, like DX being in the Hall of Fame now, some of those guys are still active, like Billy Gunn.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you've got a couple of others, but yeah, 100%. Like, it's very nice to see. But I also feel like I don't want to be overthinking it, but I feel like Rey Mysterio's retirement is very much on the way. I want him to do the. I think he's doing this last big match with his son, and then I think he'll do a last like couple things, do like a retirement tour style thing, and then call it a day.
It's got to be right because he's got a few good years left in him, but at the same time, they must have come to an agreement where. Or Ray must have mentioned something where he's about to retire. I mean, like, why else would they decide to put him in the Hall of Fame? I know they try and surprise the wrestlers with it, but at the same time, like I said, it's not happened very much. So he must have mentioned something to backstage.
Especially with the interviews as well. Like, Ray had a couple of interviews where he said if he could do one last match or if he could do one big match to finish it, he said he would love to do a match with his son. So... I don't know if they planned it that way.
I couldn't think of a better way.
Oh, sorry, Reese, you go.
No, go on. No, it's fine. Go on.
I was just going to say, with the Hall of Fame thing for Rey Mysterio, I do remember seeing that he requested for Conan, and obviously they approved it. So that was a part of the deal. And I also was watching one of the biography specials they did on him, not this season, but the season previously. And he has to do like a lot of physical therapy and he gets these like injections in his like knees and stuff because there's not as much like cartilage in there as it was when he was like younger and obviously not performing. So it's clearly... his physical style in the ring is clearly taking a toll on his body, but he's still doing it because he loves what he does and he loves everyone that he, performs for. So you wouldn't be wrong in saying that potentially the end is near for him, which is sad to think about, but well deserved going into the Hall of Fame for sure.
It's kind of 100%. I agree with that, and it's kind of incredible that his caliber. Like of like the way he can go in the ring, the fact that he can still keep up the same pace. I mean, I'm not being funny. There's not much different in terms of like speed for Rey Mysterio from like 2006 till now. Like, you can still go so well. Exactly. Like it's incredible the fact that he's able to over, let's say, all the way from WCW all the way till now. Like, it's an over 20-year career, and he's able to keep up the same amount of standards that he sets for himself. Like, including the fact that he has to go through all these injections, like you said, Kurt. It's incredible that he goes through all of that, and he's still able to like maintain the level of competitiveness in the ring that he still does.
Yeah,
it's insane.
The other thing as well is like he has the name like being the king of Lucha Libre, and everyone in the Lucha style all know how exactly Ray is in the ring, and they all strive to do the high fly that he created. So it's very fitting, not just himself being in the Hall of Fame, but I feel like it really puts a spotlight on high fly style being recognized into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think he is the greatest luchador of all time? It's a big conversation.
He's definitely one of them. I would definitely put him very high up there in respect of like best Lucha Libre style.
Okay. G Court, what do you guys think?
I have no opinions.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with other luchadors, so like for me, he's like one of the top. But I'm sure, like, if I got to see some other people, I would definitely like be able to get more of an understanding of that art of wrestling in itself. But no, I definitely think just like even if you take him out of luchador, like I do think like just like as a physical performer, like one of the greatest that we've ever seen, and especially because people like to make reference of the fact that he's like a smaller guy, so like. I mean, people always use his size as like a disadvantage, but for me, I personally think it really helps in the ring for him because it helps like make him different from others. And obviously his style compared to someone who's like a bigger guy is still going to work because they can work together. So I think, yeah.
I agree with that as well. And I think it's a massive thing as well that he was able, and we don't see it much in WWE, even now to this day. We don't see it much in WWE. A guy of his size has so many accomplishments and so much success. Yeah. I mean, we're talking like 2006, like, and this was the era. We were still in the era of the Giants. Like you had the Undertaker, even people that look kind of small, like were massive compared to compared to and somehow he was still able. Yes, you can make the argument that the whole thing that happened with Eddie Guerrero contributed to his success, but I think they wouldn't have put they wouldn't have put the world title on him. They wouldn't give him the success that he had if they didn't trust him.
I also feel like the whole Eddie argument is kind of like unfair to Ray because Ray had perfectly good matches going back and forth with Eddie Guerrero, with Chris Benoit, the whole WCW run before the passing of Eddie. I understand people are saying like, oh, they did it to be respectful, give it to Ray for Eddie's legacy and everything. I understand that argument, but I feel like Ray already contributed enough and proved himself enough without losing his friends in the ring.
Yes. Yeah. That's totally true. And the fact that people bring up the argument, and to me, it doesn't make any sense because they change booking decisions on the fly all the time now, and they probably did back then. The people bring up the argument whereas, well, Eddie Guerrero was supposed to win the world title again before he passed away. And I'm like, that you can't really say that. I mean, yeah, you can attribute Rey Mysterio like maybe getting a little bit of a push because he was close to Ray, close to Eddie, sorry, but you had Chavo right there. And if that was a massive contributing factor, why wouldn't they do it for Chavo? So it can't be if that have been a big of a factor. And like I said, if they didn't trust Ray, they wouldn't have given him the title. If they didn't think he could handle it, they wouldn't have given him it.
Exactly.
So yeah, well done, Ray. Any other thoughts on that?
I was gonna say, I think it's just we're all doing a praise Rey Mysterio segment because just like the fact he was the first inductee as well was really nice.
Yeah.
It came as such as a surprise as well. We had a lot of like names like floating around, like who is it going to be? And then they announced Ray, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, Rey Mysterio. And do you know what? When they first announced it, I was totally fine with it. I was like, fine, that's good. I'm cool with it. I was surprised, but it's Rey Mysterio. Go on, G.
I'm curious to see if Dominic will let Ray have a full-on just glorified segment or whether he's going to do something
No.
I feel like they're booking it to something's gonna happen where Dom's gonna really push Ray's buttons.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw it had been announced, I instantly thought to myself, they are not gonna let this go down as like a normal speech. And this was before they had announced Dom versus Ray. So I thought to myself, I was like, there is absolutely no way that they are gonna not have Judgment Day interfere in some way, because it's adding to the storyline. So like you could have obviously all this tension with Dom and Ray. They've finally announced the match, and then it's like, and you still can't even just let me go into the Hall of Fame peacefully, you know?
What are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you agree with that? Because like a lot of people, I mean, in the past, even though there's been feuds going on and obviously like opponents sat near each other in the crowd, the fans give them a bit of crap. Like, you know, they boo the people who they like and they don't. But usually it doesn't spill over into the actual ceremony. They usually treat it as like a really serious event.
No, and I get that, but I feel like with Triple H and how he's like integrated such a personal story of Ray and Dom and the back and forth, and like how brutal Dom's been of just being like, well, you're a deadbeat dad, you were never here, and ripping into his mom the way he did. I feel like Hall of Fame gives him another opportunity. Well, I'm gonna ruin I'm gonna ruin a big moment in your life because you weren't in the moments of my life. Yeah. I feel like story-wise, it makes sense, but I 100% agree with the professionalism to Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys?
I think it's totally on a case-by-case basis. Like, I think you could look at the situation at the time and be like, does this allow for some form of storyline to still be told whilst still appreciating Rey Mysterio? Because here's the thing. Everybody who's in that stadium and everyone who is like a professional wrestler, guest, whoever in that room is going to be appreciative of Rey Mysterio and what he did and understand that he's so totally deserving. It's just the couple people will be the Judgment Day. And so I think that also plays in, because then the crowd is going to have this extra moment that we're going to see on TV, but they'll get to see in real life and be like, oh my goodness, like Dom wouldn't even let Ray go into the Hall of Fame like peacefully. Like, this is how deep and this is how personal it is.
I just had a thought. You know how you were talking about like Rey Mysterio still being very active while he's going into the Hall of Fame? What if Dom shows up during his speech and makes it like an I quit match or something, and then he has to retire?
Yeah,
I'd like that.
Like
I would
lose
like
WWE.
That would be really good booking. I think that would really get people invested. Like, I mean, we're already invested in the story, but I think that's like the extra mileage to it for sure.
Like, adds to it.
Yeah.
I also remember seeing something when I was reading up about the Dom and Ray thing, that there were multiple different articles that said that Vicky Guerrero really wanted to be involved in the story. She did. And I do think that if they could have made that happen, that really would have added so much extra to the story. Not that it's needed, but I think just having Vicky there, and obviously with the past being, you know, Eddie versus Ray, and, you know, Eddie being, you know, Dom's father, allegedly, kind of thing, I definitely think they could have added a lot to the story. But I totally get if she's still signed with AEW, like, it couldn't happen. So.
AEW literally told her, you can't go, which I think is so unfair.
She's actually not signed with them anymore. She asked for
I believe it's
trips.
until May. That she's got till, though. I think she's just missed. Yeah, so I think she's just missed the window.
But there's been reports, and this ties still back in. There's been reports because of a WrestleMania match happening of Edge versus Finn Balor. Speculation: Edge is going to do the Brood to go against Demon Finn. Apparently, it came out. Tony Khan gave the A-OK for Christian to appear and reunite with the Brood, so all three of them would be together as the Brood for Edge.
Well, guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about Christian. I didn't hear about that. So that will honestly be something that we have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's interesting how contract agreements are getting brought up, because obviously the Vicky situation, I think it would be great for Vicky to do that, and it's a bit weird if Tony Khan's now saying Christian can do that, but Vicky can't do that. It's a bit.
Yeah, it's a situation where that's really tricky because you say that, like Christian's potentially, allegedly, I'm going to say that because I don't want to get any
exactly.
issues.
Take it with
Like he's potentially got the okay, but when it came to the Raw is 30 and they wanted to have all of DX there, Tony Khan all the way up was like, yep, that's cool, that's fine. And then there was some internal issue on the very last moment where they were like, no, you can't, like Billy can't go. So
that was actually from the E side, apparently. Tony Khan was still fine with it, apparently.
So it kind of feels like Tony's picking and choosing who can and can't go, which understandable, but it also is not very fair across the board. I get why he doesn't want people being like talent poached, but it kind of it doesn't really sit well with me. For me, it's either you let them go or you don't. Like you don't do favoritism because that adds a lot of internal conflict, and we definitely don't need any more of that.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Before to be fair, by the way, before we move on from Rey Mysterio and in terms of like the Hall of Fame speech that we're talking about, if I was to fantasy book it, I would get Rey Mysterio to do his speech, have his moment, because he deserves it. Then I would probably get Dom to come out, but I would get him. I would get him something. I'd get him to do something like really nasty, like to get the fans proper. Like against him, like I would get him to throw a glass of water over Conan or something. Like I think that'd really, really drive a bit of like hatred towards him.
I've completely forgot what I was going to say.
Should have written it down.
We'll come back to you, G. We'll come back to you.
I just wanted to interrupt Reese, really.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I would genuinely like Conan to smack Dom though, like Conan protects Ray, like just Conan just goes, sees Dom and's like, stops him.
Could you imagine if he went the opposite way though and protected Dom, not Ray?
That would be so mad. Oh,
it'd be
Conan
great.
Conan just being like, hey, yo, Dom,
I could have that.
Well, it would feed into what I actually want Dom to do if he leaves Judgment Day. I want him to form like a kind of a new version of the LWO. And maybe get people like Conan to join in. Maybe get Los Lotharios to join in. Make him go full Eddie Guerrero. Full Eddie Guerrero. Make him get him some like Eddie Guerrero like tights. Give him the lowrider like that. It would kill. That gimmick would kill on the main roster. People would hate him so much. And because of Los Lotharios, like Los Lotharios were kind of like Latino Heat before Dom was Latino Heat. Like they were doing the gimmick. They were kind of doing the gimmick before they went down to main event. So them three together would be lit. Like because Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, very talented. Dominic's getting up there. He's improving in the ring. He's very good on the microphone. Very underrated on the microphone, in my opinion. So I think it'd be a great combination of people. And you either get Vicky in to manage him, or like Conan, or someone like Chavo. Get Chavo to manage him.
Chavo would be great.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
Right. Any more thoughts on Hall of Fame before we move on to our predictions?
I've got an interesting one to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say the Great Muta is a big pick for me. Not only because he's like in probably top 5 most legendary Japanese wrestlers of all time. Like in that company and like from that generation of like talent. Like it's just I was surprised that WWE picked him as like a secondary option.
I don't know enough about him to know why he's going in.
He's massive.
Yeah, he basically changed a lot of the landscape. Quite a few of the moves people use were inspired and done by Muta. Asuka's whole green mist gimmick was taken from Muta. And he's been like a multiple worldwide champion for a lot of Japan and really paved the way for Japanese wrestlers to come overseas and do things as well.
I believe he invented the Osai moonsault, didn't he, as well?
That is, yep. But this is the thing, Muta invented it, but Hayabusa made it better for me.
Like Hayabusa was mint. Yeah.
But like,
okay.
Muta's great, and it is nice to see that they gave him his goodbye match in Noah. They put it with Shinsuke Nakamura, so it's nice to see he'll be in the Hall of Fame as well. But it is a shame Nakamura's not going to be the one inducting him, I believe.
Is Nakamura not? Where's Nakamura then?
they've not got anything planned for Nakamura at the moment. He's not been on screen or doing anything at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's something to do with his visa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just about to
is
say
that will make
exactly.
sense why he's been out doing smaller promotions?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, maybe that's why part of him was allowed to go to Noah is because he has a visa issue, and Triple H was like, "Well, if you still need to make money and work, go work at Noah. I'll let you do the match."
But I can definitely see WWE not being the kind of people to not give him support.
Exactly.
100%. Which is why it surprises me. I mean, I know they've done it before with some of the Japanese like legends, but it's nice to see that the West, like the biggest company in the West, are acknowledging the Great Muta. I think that's a really nice touch.
100%.
So the next one was, I already know your thoughts on this because I've seen it in the group chat. Stacey Keibler.
No. Who?
Yeah, exactly. Who? Xavier Woods in this chat.
What did she do?
Oh god. Don't even start.
So I said this in the group chat, and I'll say it again on here, just so like everyone knows my thoughts on this, right? I'm sorry. You talk about the women's revolution, like taking step forwards into the women's revolution, right? Stacey Keibler did things in the women's revolution that made you take a couple of steps back. Like literally, the only things I remember about Stacey Keibler are dancing on the table for Vince McMahon, managing Test, and naming his fans the testicles, and also that one
Lauren's
time.
joined at the perfect time.
I know,
She
testicles.
really
Hi, Lauren.
This, Lauren.
I know, right?
Sorry, guys. I really am.
It's all good. It's all good. You're just in time to hear.
Come around.
Oh yeah. I know.
You're just in time to hear me rant about Stacey Keibler. Don't worry.
Oh, have I got my? Hold on. I think I might have my screen lock on right there. Is that better?
There we go.
There we go.
Again,
so they're the 2 of 3 things I remember about Stacey Keibler, and the third and final thing about Stacey Keibler that I remember is that one time at WrestleMania where Jeff Hardy slapped her on the arse and knocked her off the apron. That is literally the 3 things I remember about Stacey Keibler. That is a Hall of Fame career right there. I can see why she's being inducted.
Don't forget she got RKO'd.
She did.
Oh yeah. That's probably it's probably the greatest move she's ever sold.
The thing is, right, I understand
Appreciate my
wanting to
t-shirt.
put like a woman in every year, but there's so many other women that deserve that spot more than she does.
100%. I've just noticed your t-shirt, by the way, Lauren. Yes.
That's a nice t-shirt, Lauren.
Of course, you've done Wade Barrett twice in 2 podcasts. Let's see how many times she'll do Wade Barrett involved things.
Yeah.
Every podcast.
Yeah.
Every.
So I have some thoughts on Stacey Keibler being inducted. I understand that as a manager, she was very well known and she was always looked at as being a star whilst managing these people. But I've taken a couple of days to think about it. And for me personally, I just feel like this is another example of WWE just ticking a box to say, yep, we've got a female in, but not actually thinking about the caliber of the athlete and the wrestler that needs to be inducted as a woman in the WWE. Like, there's so many other people from the past and from now that you could induct that have done so much for the women's evolution and the women's revolution. When I shared that news with you guys, I asked you point blank period. I said, when was the last time that Stacey Keibler did anything in the last 10 years that was related to WWE and was related to the women's revolution and evolution? And I'm just am such a big advocate for women being pushed forward. And I just feel like there are so many other people that could have been acknowledged in this way to actually show like, that's what we did in the past, but this is what we've done in the future. Perfect example, Mickie James, Victoria. Like those are all women that were there at the time and have then done stuff helping the women's movement going forward. And I just think when I saw that news, my heart dropped because I was like, you've really just dropped the ball, Triple H. I was like, handing you your first L. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing?
Is Steiner in the Hall of Fame?
She is with DX. She isn't separately.
No, not a single induction for herself. I'd love to see her be inducted singularly, but a part of me also thinks with how everything is with her and Triple H, I don't really know. I can't see that happening as a single induction.
I'm not being funny as well. Like, you talk about women, like, you know, progressing. Like, you talk about the Trish Stratuses that came in kind of like Stacey Keibler, where she was just pretty much like a face. And it was just something great to look at. That's what WWE brought her in for, essentially. But that how she improved in the ring. Like, if you want to talk about that caliber of woman, like to put into the Hall of Fame, let's talk about the Candice Michelles. Let's talk about the Melinas. Like, why are we not talking about Candice Michelle and Melina? Like, why Stacy Keibler? People who improved, people who came in because, let's face it, it was because of the bodies, because WWE thought they looked great, but then actually decided to take what they had, improve it, actually have great matches.
Yeah.
Why are they not in the Hall of Fame? I know Candice Michelle's not been around for a minute, but when she was there, I really respected the way she really upped her game. And like by the end of her career, like she was having great matches like Beth Phoenix with Melina. But I just don't understand why we've picked Stacy Keibler.
I think just going back to your point is, I just think just going back to your point as well, I've just thought about this now, and this might be a very controversial hot take. But for me, if you couldn't move further in the wrestling industry past a bra and panties match, you shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
100%.
Like, we don't do that anymore. There's a reason that we don't do that anymore, because women are worth so much more and we can do so much more. And it peeves me off so much when people like that, who, like I said, I haven't seen you contribute to the WWE in the last 10 years. Why are we acknowledging you? There are so many other people that we can acknowledge. Like, it annoys me so much. Like, just
me as well.
Like, I respect her, and I'm happy for her as a person being acknowledged, but as a professional in the WWE, I just don't think. I think this is just a simple example of box ticking. Like,
exactly. But the thing is, they don't need to have a women every year. I feel like because there was such a smaller amount of women wrestlers to the male wrestlers. There's such a larger amount of male wrestlers. We'd understand them not having a woman every year. Don't just put someone in because you're trying to tick a box of having a woman.
Exactly. I think we're having this conversation in the group chat as well, and it was along the lines of something else. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's the caliber of athlete and what you contribute to the wrestling world. Like, it doesn't matter.
Even Tori would have been more than Stacy, because Tori actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Tori's been there since she left, like, a couple of times, hasn't she? Was that Raw? Was it Raw 1000 where they brought her back? Maurice was pregnant, and it was that Raw 1000. Yeah. Like, when
if you want to keep the Hall of Fame simple, by the way, I mean, you're talking about people who have only just like recently retired or are still active competitors. If you want to talk about a woman who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, you've got Meiko Satomura right there on your roster.
Yeah.
That would have been a perfect example of like actually recognizing greatness.
Yes.
Like, just
right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm surprised that Vince hasn't tried to induct himself into the Hall of Fame, because let's be honest, it's Vince McMahon.
It's going to happen one day. And there's nothing we can do.
To add to the Meiko Satomura thing, I don't think she is deserving of the Hall of Fame personally. And I will have this discussion anytime, because I don't appreciate a bully getting spotlight.
100%. There is that side of it. There is that side of it where, like, in many dojos, like, she was quite harsh with some of the competitors.
She broke a girl's jaw who was training. They were just in a training session, and she stiff drop kicked and broke her jaw. Like, I understand and respect her work. Don't get it twisted in any way. I respect everything she's done. One of the greatest Japanese women talent that really pushed the mold of how to be a strong Japanese wrestler. But just because you went through hell and you made yourself strong does not mean you teach people the same way and injure them in the process of doing it. That's not how you progress wrestlers.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
I think you'll find, going from like the UK, New Zealand, Ireland, all of that, the teaching style is completely different over in those Asian countries. They're always trained very harsh and very brutal, and that is so that you can endure and go through anything, basically. I'm saying that, like, your point is 100% valid. You shouldn't be injuring someone just for the sake of it. But over in that side of the world, that is the way that they train people. It's very harsh. It's very brutal, but it helps make them greater in the end. I know breaking someone's jaw at the time is not that great, but
exactly,
it's just their teaching style.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand the strong style, and I understand where that all comes from, of the stiff hits. Like, British strong style has been a thing for generations, same as Japanese strong style. Like, me being a New Japan fan, I've watched young lions grow up doing strong style matches where they are literally beaten to a pulp. And I watched like the Inoki style where he was doing mixed martial arts with wrestling. So they were doing actual hits involving wrestling. It's just that level of you're looked at as the respected teacher and you taught me how to get my jaw broken or get injured doesn't really pave you in a spotlight of moving people forward. It puts you on this is a dark spot in my career where I shouldn't have been training people like that.
I think there's definitely a way to ease someone into the strong style, because I feel like if you're breaking someone's jaw, you're training them way too fast, and they clearly weren't prepared for a strong, like, stiff drop kick. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a way to take that move, like whether it's a harsh bump or not. I definitely think, like I said, when it comes to like training in the dojos and that, like, she is responsible for some not nice things. In terms of a career, like you just said, then Ross, like the accolades that she's got. I mean, she's been wrestling since WCW. Goddammit.
Exactly.
So I think in that terms, and in terms of if WWE want to keep it simple, like clearly they don't have a problem with inducting people who are on the roster. Mako, I'd rather have Mako over Stacey Keeper. And
of course, I'd rather Mako over Stacey because Mako's actually done things for career. If it's accolade work, yes, but I don't want someone having the spotlight on a lot of the dark side of what they've done. If people want to know where I have this viewpoint from, there's a documentary called Gaia Girls where it in-depth shows brand new talent being learned, and Mako Satomura is one of the teachers there, and you see how like diminished this brand new girl was. All she wanted to do was be a pro wrestler, and they emotionally break her down, and physically she ends up getting injured way too frequently. And it comes across very much as a bullying type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Shall we wriggle on then? Because we've got a lot of matches to get through.
Wriggle.
Let's just quickly ask Lauren on her thoughts of Rey Mysterio, and then we'll move on to the matches for WrestleMania.
I love Rey. I think Rey is like very underrated, and he deserves the Hall of Fame. I think I thought at first this like match with Dom at WrestleMania was going to be his retirement, but apparently not.
I still think there'll be something there that might stipulate that, but definitely. Right then, so WrestleMania predictions. So I've got them wrote down as the matches for night 1 and the matches for night 2. So we'll do night 1 first.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And we'll just go in order and say whatever you've got to say. So the first match of night 1 and has been said is the opening match for night 1. We have John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship.
Oh, okay.
Are we going from like Ross downwards?
We'll go Ross down. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to be the guy that goes, it's A-Town down, and make the joke that Austin Theory is going to win. But no, I'm actually booking Cena to win, mainly because I want the US Open Challenge to come back, and I want a surprise after WrestleMania, like the Raw after WrestleMania Open Challenge. A big shock of like an NXT guy gets called up, or someone that is a fresh agent that's been hired, like a Matt Cardona or a Jay White, someone like that. So I'm booking Cena to win, but I still feel like it's Austin's time. Like he's really over right now. So I'm happy with either decision.
Okay. I can work with that. Because I'm really struggling. Like, this is one of the matches that I'm actually like stumped on. And mainly because my heart and my head is telling me that Cena's going to win. But at the same time, I don't think he should. Like, Austin Theory, it's his time. He is the guy at the minute who's on the main roster holding that mid-card title, like holding it down, to be fair. I mean, ever since he won it off Rollins, he's improved for me. Apparently, some people backstage said that he needed more of an edge. I think he's got that now. I think he's got it down, A-Town down. But don't get me wrong, there's still room for improvement there. But I can literally in my head see how this match is going to end. Austin Theory is going to go through do that forward roll thing that he does through the ropes. Cena's going to catch him on his shoulders right into the AA. I can see it in my head. I can literally see that happening. 1, 2, 3, and like you said, I want to see that United States Open Challenge match. So I'm gonna say Cena because I think there's a story to be told on the next night on Raw. I don't know if it's the right decision, but I'm gonna go with Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as well. I made a TikTok yesterday with my predictions, and I did say Austin Theory. But now that I'm thinking about it, after like we're talking about it and had some more thought, I genuinely would love to see the Open Challenge again. I saw a joke online that John Cena's going first because he's got to hop on a plane after Mania. That makes sense if he's such a busy man. But I think that the 12-year-old in me definitely wants to see John Cena win. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for somebody who has that same kind of aura that early John Cena had to be pass the torch and say, okay, off you go. So I do think, with that being said, I do think Austin Theory might take the win on this, just because I think John Cena's Hollywood schedule was just way too much in terms of like too busy to commit to WWE at the moment. So I think Austin will win this one for sure.
Okay, Lauren?
Oh, I'm next. I thought we were going to John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena. What do you think, John Cena or Terry?
John Cena, any day.
That's
John
one.
Cena for sure. Yeah.
That's your mum right there. Cameo from mum.
Terry, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Theory as well. I just feel, in the same sense of Courtney, John Cena is far too busy to be holding down any titles right now. So my money's on Theory.
What's he
You
like?
know, A-Town down.
What if John wins and then Randy comes back on Monday and beats John for the title?
That's what I was gonna say. We can have Cena win at Mania to get Cena's moment, and then do the Open Challenge on Raw, and he loses the Open Challenge to the new surprise of who it could be. It could be an Orton.
We'll talk about returns later. Let's keep that.
Okay. I'm just saying that it still makes sense for Cena to have that.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing before we move on to the next match, I just want to ask quickly, if John Cena is to win, do you think that'll hurt, or do you think that'll help Austin?
I think it'll help Austin.
I think it'll really hurt him. I really do. A lot of people have been questioning whether he's ready to carry a torch in WWE lately. You had the whole thing late last year when he cashed in Money in the Bank and he failed. You had the whole thing when Triple H took over for creative, and a lot of people questioned whether Triple H liked Theory as much as Vince McMahon. The whole feud with Seth Rollins, for me, he came out on the worst side, and now that he's sort of getting his act together, and he is actually getting booked quite well, and he's got this character that he's got now, it has legs in my opinion. If he loses this big match, I think it's back to square one for Theory. I really do.
Yeah, same.
I don't. The reason why is because I think if this loss happens, it'll put his ego in check, and I think he'll start talking to certain people that used to help him and get him motivated back. We've already got 2 parts of the way reforming, with Dexter and Johnny hanging out with each other and looking after each other because of Grayson Waller attacking Johnny. I feel if Theory loses, that option is more than available to him of starting talking to those guys and reforming that as a group.
Don't get me wrong. If the way is an option, I'm down for him losing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way I see it, is if the way happens. If the way isn't planned for that future, then yes, Theory is straight back to square one.
Yeah, but then they'd have to bring Indy up to the main roster.
Which I think they're
I mean,
gonna.
it's not out of the equation. It can happen.
Yeah.
She's main roster ready.
She needs to come.
Yeah. She's been main roster
Indy
ready for a long
Hartwell's
time.
been. I was going to say, she's been main roster for a minute. Like, she has been on NXT for so long, and I really don't know why.
No.
And she's been over since NXT has changed 3 times since she's been on it. She was on original Black and Gold, then the Rainbow version, and now the new reformed version of Black and Gold. Like the Black
and she
Gold
also does
2.0.
stuff on NXT Level Up as well too. So it's like she's working with the newer talent as well. So clearly they see her as like a locker room leader down there, and
Yeah.
they might feel like they don't want to lose her. But I definitely think if you wanted to have plans of reforming the way, I definitely think bringing her up is the way to do it.
I
And
think they were
even just like
tempted.
inserting her into like damage control could be good too.
Oh,
That'd be nice as well, yeah.
That would be good.
That would
No,
be.
we
Yeah.
need to put her and Dexter back together.
I think they were. This is what I was going to say, and this is exactly what I was going to say. I think they were tempted. I think it was like mid last year where Loomis showed up on NXT and got arrested.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was not acknowledged at all. And I was
It's
like, that
long-term
was
booking,
weird. A long-term booking. If it ends up somewhere, then that's long
distance and long-term booking. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in a long distance relationship of two separate shows.
Yeah.
All
right.
They're
Should we
doing
move on to the next bit?
long-term booking, kind of like Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt.
Guys, we're
Yeah, let's go.
sidetracking too much here. Too much. Right. The next one is the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the tag team titles.
Oh well,
Easy.
that's a given. It's Zania, baby.
Zania, baby.
Like-
Yeah, that literally.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are so over right now. It's about damn time we get the tag team belts separated. Give some love to the other tag teams that are also still putting in work. I'm sorry, Street Profits still deserve to get some love and get like some belts around them again, because Montez just puts in so much damn effort. He should be rewarded for it. Same as Angelo.
Are they splitting the titles?
Well, no, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to go for both. But what I'm saying is I feel Kevin Owens and Sami will be like, cool, we're going to put up the other belts and do like a fight for them.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to split the belts as well.
Yeah. I'm not usually a fan of tag teams who aren't tag teams. I mean, like, but you can make an exception, number one, because it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And number two, that like this storyline is too perfect for him not to win the tag team titles.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it. And I do think they're definitely going to win.
I'm sorry, I hear you saying you don't mind some of the bloodline losing their titles. Are you okay?
I know. Like that's that. Yeah, tell me about it. That's it. Yeah. See, I'm not that biased. God, come on. You know.
Are you sure? Because I disagree with that.
So do I, G.
Oh, okay. No. I tell you what, I am completely unbiased. There is no one on the roster that I favor more. I promise.
Sure. We wait to see you. I see you.
I just say that as a straight face.
One sec.
Yeah. So for me, I definitely think it should be Sami and Kevin. And I do think that Triple H is aware of how screwed up Vince did the whole entire title situation of putting so many of them together. Triple H is very aware of the fact that you've got to have separate people with separate, like the brands have to have the right amount of titles. You can't have all of them on one brand and not have people striving to achieve something on another brand, if that makes sense. So I definitely think that it'll be Sami and Kevin. Like you said, the story's there and it's too perfect for it to not happen in this way. And I do think that because this match is happening on night one and then night two is Roman and Cody, I do think this is a way for Roman to start doubting and start freaking out because, you know, the bloodline is not as strong anymore. We've lost our tag titles. What do we do? Like, it's almost beginning the turmoil. So it's a situation in which I think having Kevin and Sami win is perfect. Start putting that seed of doubt into Roman and then see everything potentially unravel on night two. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Apart from the end, I like that.
We'll talk about that later, Reese. We'll argue about that later. Right?
Yes,
till the end.
Deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Lauren, what do you think?
Kevin and Sami, of course. Was that like even enough?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. And like Courtney said, I think that's going to happen. There's going to be a breakdown in the bloodline on the first night, and it's going to come to a head in the second night.
Okay. And finally, I wonder what G's going to say.
Oh, obviously I'm going to say Kevin and Sami.
Day one. Oh, never mind.
Day one is.
No, I definitely think if any of the bloodline are losing their belts this weekend, it's going to be the Usos are going to lose.
I think it's time. That one-ish, yeah. I think it's time. I really do think it's time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They've held
already
them for damn
established it.
long. Yeah,
They're established. Like, not only did they smash the record for the longest reigning tag team, they have absolutely taken it and just run with it for like another 4 months. Like, no one will ever beat that. No one.
No, but
No.
they've also proven themselves already before this massive long title reign in
Oh,
itself that
100%.
they are Hall of Fame worthy. They have done so much within their career.
Definitely.
This has only elevated it. Like, I think Triple H is just well aware of the fact that, like, you need to start getting the titles on new people. And honestly, I think this WrestleMania is going to be a hard reset for a lot of the title picture.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Nick Khan's comments that he said of expect a lot of surprises for Mania. So I'm expecting people returning, belts, everything.
Yeah.
Like, Nick Khan hasn't shied of the fact of this is going to be a huge WrestleMania. So I can see a lot of belt changes.
Yeah.
I'm
totally down for that. I'm down for it.
Right. Swiftly moving on. The next match is Becky, Trish, and Lisa versus Damage Control. Now, if I am correct, the tag titles aren't on the line in this match. No.
It's, for me, it's gonna go to Damage Control because I think Trish is gonna turn on Becky to build a SummerSlam feud for them too, from everything that's been going on. So Damage Control getting the win, it gives them more go-away heat. It gives them more momentum to build themselves again. But also at the same time, Dakota and Io look like they're getting more and more frustrated with Bayley's decisions. So that it's hard for me to pick, but I'm going to go with Damage Control because I can see the Trish story.
Okay. First controversial rant / complaint for me from the night.
No.
I do not give a single crap about this match.
Oh.
Like, I actually fully don't. I'm sorry. The booking for it has just been, I want to watch Raw in 2 times speed every single time I see this pop up on my screen.
I listen to your voice messages.
Exactly. I feel like every single time this storyline has been, I feel like every single time this storyline has been given a segment, it's, oh yeah, this is going on. Because I went on holiday or vacation for a week and I missed Raw. And when I came back, it's like I'd missed nothing. And all of a sudden, Becky and Lita were interfering in the match. And then Trish came back. And then I'm just like, what are we doing? I don't care. Like, why are they the tag team champions? Why are Damage Control not the tag team champions? Why are Damage Control in this match? Why are the women's tag team championships not being defended at WrestleMania? Like, I don't care. And honestly, if Damage Control don't win this match, then they shouldn't be a faction anymore. They've done nothing. They've done literally nothing. They came from SummerSlam with all the momentum in the world. When Bayley came out, dope, amazing. Then she brought Dakota and Io out. I was like, wow, this is dope. She got in the ring with Bianca and Becky. I was like, this is going to be mint. They're going to be the new women's faction holding all the championships. They've had 2 mediocre championship runs. Bayley has had about 3 opportunities for the women's championship, which she has failed at for some unknown reason.
I agree.
And now we've got a Damage Control that hold no championships, that have no credibility because they haven't had any major wins in God knows how long. And we've got a tag team championship that's not being defended and is held by someone who has not wrestled full time in 20 years and by Becky Lynch, who shouldn't even be in a tag team. What are we doing? Damage Control better win or else there's going to be an issue. That's my opinion on that match.
You could say they're not controlling their damage.
Exactly. We need some Damage Control and get them a win.
Yeah.
Someone needs to come into creative and do some Damage Control on this whole situation.
Some PR stunts. Yeah, I totally agree what you're saying with the Reese. Like, my prediction in my video was that I want Lita, Trish, and Becky to win. But my thing is, you know, like you said, Damage Control had so much momentum coming out of SummerSlam. I freaked out when I saw Dakota was back because, first of all, she's a New Zealander. We represent real hard up in this place. But secondly, like, she wasn't even with the company. Like, that in itself made such a massive statement into the vision that Triple H had. I was about to say Vince, but Vince doesn't see that far ahead. And the vision that Triple H had for the women's division, you know? And for me, I just feel like you said, there's been so many opportunities to make them like a female version of the Bloodline, with them having all of the women's titles and then being super dominant. But I don't know why they've just dropped the ball. And I genuinely feel like maybe Triple H thought that Bayley's not the one to beat Bianca, but there's nobody ready to do that at that time. I do think that Damage Control really does need a win under their belts, because it's just like, if they don't win, where do we go from here with them? Because, you know, them three individually and as a group, they're great, but it's just they don't have that creative input that is going to push them to the next step. And with Triple H, Lita, and Becky, like, I do think that if they win as well too, they can start having a storyline going into SummerSlam or something, because I did read that Trish is going to be with WWE until SummerSlam. So that can start something with Trish and Lita, or if they wanted to revisit that, or Trish and Becky, it doesn't matter how. But even if you had them lose the match and then Trish be like, well, I came back to help you guys and you guys couldn't even beat these guys on your own, you know? So I would like to see the Legends and Becky win, but it's just, I think after I made my video yesterday, I sat and thought about it for a little bit more, and I was like, I honestly couldn't even tell you. I have no idea. It could go either way.
Okay. Lauren?
I really want Becky and Lita and Trish to win. I think Becky and Trish on their own will carry the match anyway. Like, let's be honest. Did anybody see the botch that Lita done a couple of weeks ago on Raw?
What one? Wait, what was that? What part of the match was that at?
Was it when they were doing when they crashed Bailey's knock knock ding dong, whatever it's called?
Oh yeah.
Ding dong.
Ding dong hello.
Knock knock.
Yeah, it's now known as knock knock. No, it's ding dong hello. I know which one you're on about.
No.
I'm not a Bailey fan, so pay attention to those.
Oh, another conversation for another day.
Laura.
Lord have mercy, you can't do that.
You better do some damage control to fix what you just said.
I stand by what I said.
You've hurt Reese.
But I wish
I
know they're not defending tag titles, but I wish it was like it was an Impact. Ross and Reese, you will know what I was talking about. The Freebird rule with the that would be really interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
It gives more opportunity as well, especially if Triple H is going with the ideas of building more factions. I think the Freebird rule should very much be applied, especially with the fact if they did that for part of the Bloodline story. Oh no, Jimmy's hurt. What do we do? Freebird rule. Sami Zayn will cover Jimmy's spot. Like, they've already done it. Like, why don't they do that for Damage Control? Make it...
And the New Day as well. The New Day had it for years.
Exactly. New Day as well. Yeah. Like, I don't see why they don't do it. Heck, freaking do it with the Bloodline. Makes Solo Sikoa do some more tag belt options as well.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with Becky, Trish, and Lita just because I'm a big fan of all three, and Damage Control are doing nothing right now. So, yeah. I don't know. It's either going to break or make Damage Control no matter what happens in this match. So, we'll see.
I think they'll be damaged beyond repair, to be honest. No pun intended.
Right. Next match. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Seth, always. Seth, every damn day. Like, I'm sorry. I know Logan Paul's good in the ring. I know he's done a decent promo. He's like this weird breakout star who's done actually so much better than people thought he would, but you can't beat a talent like Seth Rollins. Look at the crowd. Look how over this man is. He steps out, everyone's singing his song. He does anything. He can wear the most outlandish outfit. Everyone's talking about it. So for me, if Seth loses, it literally crumbles all the momentum he has.
Yeah.
So Seth for me is arguably the most over person in the company. Maybe you could argue maybe it's Sammy or Cody. But for me, it's a very close tie between those three people. There aren't many people on the roster that get the reactions that Seth does, and I'm talking every single town. Even the reactions that some towns when they go to certain cities and they're quiet for most of Raw. Seth Rollins is the highlight of the night every single time, and every single time that is that song is all over the place, and it's amazing. It reminds me of when people was doing Fandangoing, like when he first, like so with Seth Rollins, it's difficult to say a loss would hurt him because I still think he would be over, but I would think it's the wrong decision for him to lose. I mean, I know it's Logan Paul's birthday or whatever, but I don't really see why that would.
Yeah, so we just asked to get some birthday beatings.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Randy Orton's birthday tomorrow, so like, what's Logan's point?
Can we also bear in mind that it's April Fool's Day tomorrow as well?
Very true.
Oh, okay. So Logan Paul apparently his contract is up tomorrow as well.
I'm just gonna go turn TV off.
Yeah, no problem. So when Logan Paul says his contract is up and it's his birthday tomorrow, I don't know if he's going to re-sign with WWE. I hope he does because I want to see more matches. But Logan Paul does not need this victory. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need to be the guy who wins the matches. He's the guy who draws in fans. He's the guy who gets the numbers for WWE. I mean, we know someone, Scarlett on TikTok, she started watching wrestling because Logan Paul was in a match. He draws the numbers. That's what he's the guy for that. He shouldn't be beating a long-staying guy like Seth Rollins, a guy, like I said, is maybe the most over guy in the company. So Seth Rollins is my pick. Let's move on to Courtney.
I feel like I don't need to say very much more other than what you guys have said. And also, I talked about it last week, like I love Seth. I think, as you said, he's probably the most over person in the entire WWE at this point in time. Obviously, if you take Roman out of the equation. Like, I struggle to think about the fact if it would hurt or if it would help Seth in a sense. Part of me feels like a win like this would definitely help him, especially if you're going to have maybe Cody jump into the title picture. Seth can challenge for the title. But I also am trying to come to grips with the fact it probably won't hurt him as much because he's still so over, even though he's been defeated so many times. But maybe if he did lose, it might help character-wise, like we were talking about last week, Ross. Like it would definitely, you'd like to see a more darker, Joker-esque side of things. Yeah. And he mentioned that in the promo this week. He said, if I was to be beaten by Logan, I would look like a Joker. So it's like, are they teasing that on purpose, or is this just me overthinking too much? I don't know.
See,
but
that works though. I like that idea. If that
so
happens,
yeah. But for me personally, it needs to be Seth. It needs to be Seth, because why would you have Logan Paul, who couldn't even beat Roman Reigns, be able to beat Seth, who I personally think out of him and Roman is definitely more talented in the ring. Like, why would you have one of the best technical wrestlers in WWE get beaten by Logan? And yeah, I can see you, Reese, and I'm smiling when I'm saying this because I will happily defend this point until the day that I die. Happily.
I mean, not going to lie, I'm actually backing Courtney's case. Seth Rollins is better in the ring, in my opinion.
Definitely.
I feel like you can take a shot every single time. When you're in a match with Roman, take a shot every time he does a spear. You will be drunk in 5 minutes. So yeah, honestly, pick is, I really want Seth to win. I'm gonna leave all my good comments till the very end.
So just for the record, I actually agree with you. I think Seth is miles ahead of Roman in the ring.
Sorry, say that again. I couldn't quite hear you over my Apple earbuds.
Yeah, you heard me. You heard me. Shut up.
I wasn't listening, Reese. Could you repeat that?
You're lost, G.
Sorry, I need the bass boost in my ears. What was that?
I mean, apart from Solo Sikoa, because he's better than Seth Rollins.
I definitely think Reese's AI needs updating. I think we're a little bit far behind.
We've broke Reese. We broke the algorithm.
Right, Lauren, what do you think?
Seth. Anybody that knows me well enough knows I hate Logan Paul. He is so overrated in my opinion.
Okay.
Fair. You're allowed your opinion.
Any other thoughts? Do you want to elaborate on that, or is that just like Seth?
No, just Seth.
Okay.
Like that
Fair
is
enough.
literally like does not care what anybody thinks of him. Like they just his attitude and everything. Like he is on a different planet, and I love it.
Fair
Look
enough.
how happy
Well,
he is when he comes out and stuff.
I will say, with what Court and Ross said, if the result of Logan winning is Seth going into like a Joker kind of character, then Logan all day, because I would love to see that.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm not.
Joker
But I
Seth
would
would
like
be-
to say, yeah.
But
Joker Seth would
if
be
it's a
mint.
case of actually putting Seth back in the title picture, then it needs to be Seth. If
Oh,
that's what you
yes.
want, because you want to capitalize off how over he is, if that's the way that you want to go, have Seth win. If you want character change in Seth, have Logan win. But to be honest, I think Seth's character is perfect as is.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna also go for Seth because I think he needs the win. And I'm not a big fan of these. I don't know what I can't get over on the celebrities that come in, do the big pay-per-views, and then piss off and do nothing else. And all these other wrestlers that work fucking hard.
yeah.
Well,
I would- Sorry,
go on. No, you go, Lauren. You go.
I would much rather see Snooki in a WrestleMania match again than Logan Paul.
You know, she's waiting for WWE to call her back.
Oh.
she made a comment in a video one day, like I was like a week ago or something. She's like, "Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back from WWE to come back for Mania." I'm like,
Come
"Come
on."
on."
But yeah.
All I
Anyway,
was-
next
all-
match.
Okay, all I was going to say is give Logan his props, though. He's done more than just a WrestleMania match. He has done a few pay-per-views, and he has done some on-screen promos on Raw and SmackDown. Like, at least the
But
guy's
he's
actually
not
done it.
traveling day in, day out, going to
Yeah, I
work
was gonna say.
night after night.
I get
You
that.
know?
I get that. But at least he's done more than the other guys where they've shown up to do just the one pay-per-view and then gone.
Yeah.
Right.
He does a lot of
Moving on.
marketing for thing. Yeah, we'll move on. Okay.
Yeah, we'll move on, Reese. We'll move on. The next match is Ray versus Dominic.
Oh.
Dominic Mysterio, because I think some of the Judgment Day members are going to get involved, and it is the passing of the torch moment of Ray is going to finally give it to his son.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we need to talk about this match very much because I think we discussed Ray like a lot at the
Yeah.
start.
Uh-huh.
But I 100% think it's going to be Dom. I think it'd be a terrible decision if it wasn't Dom. I won't lie to you. If it was, I just think it makes sense for him to go over. Ray doesn't need a win at this stage in his career. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I think it needs to be Dom. I think Triple H has really put a lot of emphasis into building Judgment Day in its entirety, all 4 members, and I definitely think if one of them was to have a loss like this, it definitely would hit the entire faction,
Yeah.
and not in a good way.
Yeah.
I definitely think that if you are wanting to build Dominic as a good, like a bona fide star, I definitely think this is the way to do it. And like you said, it's not going to hurt Ray. He's going into the Hall of Fame. Like, it's not going to hurt him. It's not going to do anything for the career that he's already had. And, you know, like he said, he didn't want to fight Dom, but Dom's actions have led to this.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not going to put a black dot or anything on his career leading up to this point. So I definitely think it should be Dom.
As much as I want it to be Ray, I think it's going to be Dom. I'd like it to be Ray unless, like, it was Ray's retirement match. Then obviously I'd want Dom to win.
Yeah, I can see like the side of it where it would be better if it was a retirement match. But like I said, it's unfortunate. I know this sounds a bit that it's unfortunate that Ray's so good in the ring still because he's got a good few more years left in him. So like you say, Lauren, I think, like, when it comes to a retirement match, I think they'd be more on the line as well. I mean, they've still got time to do it. They could like you said at the Hall of Fame, they've still got time to do it. But I just don't.
Yeah.
It's not think the word, unfortunately.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. Like, so I'm gonna pick Dom as well. I think Dom's gonna win. But I still think something's gonna happen at Hall of Fame after or during his speech that's gonna change the stipulation of the match.
Yeah. And you'll get me and G's live reactions on our TikTok when we watch this.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Courtney, this is on night 1.
Oh.
Hall of
The Hall of
Fame's
Fame's
tonight.
tonight.
Oh,
yeah,
the
that-
Hall of
oh,
Fame.
yeah, yeah.
I thought you meant
Yeah.
the Dominic
No,
and
no,
Ray
no, no.
match. Ignore
But
me.
for all, like,
Yes,
talking about the Hall of
They're
Fame.
going to be live. Yes.
we're saying
Even
now
I-
that we don't know. If
I was
it's, like,
confused for a second.
Yeah, ignore me.
we're saying now that we don't know if like Ray is putting his career on line. You know the way WWE is. We're saying it now. We don't know. For all we know, he could be, and it's just not going to be announced until Mania.
I'd like to be able to see the future, but unfortunately, that's not a skill I've tapped into.
We're not from that, so Raven. We can't just like turn to the side, have a great transition, get the vision, and come back. You know,
I
wish we could.
I saw a fantasy booking on I can't remember what channel it was, so I can't quote it. On it was to do with wrestling, obviously, with regards to Dom and Ray. And someone booked it as like Ray loses the match, but he then it's kind of like a WrestleMania 18 Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho moment where like he grabs his son's head and goes, "I love you. I'm sorry for how you feel. You are now the man of the house. You need to do what you need to do." And then he takes off his mask and gives it to him. And I was like, okay,
Oh,
Don't need to
Jesus.
cry.
that would be.
That
would be.
Yeah, that would break.
The
I
tears
think
I'll tell you why that would be
break a lot.
interesting as well. I'll tell you why that would be interesting as well. Because you would probably have people like Judgment Day next at the side of the ring. And surely that would be a face turn for Dom. And the rest of the Judgment Day would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So like that'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just think it's a far fetch.
I like Dom, but I just can't take it seriously. And he was like, "I done some serious jail time." I just laugh every time he said that. Like, you were in jail for a week.
That's the point, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's the point.
I know.
Saying
I
what
did
going on what
hard
you said.
time. This is
He's
what
going
we
on
did
what
in
you
hard
said, I
time.
saw-
It's so hard to take him seriously.
Yeah. I saw a meme yesterday that was like, if Ray used a condom, we wouldn't have ex-condom.
No.
That is the best.
No, the best
That
meme,
was-
the
was
best
it
meme
so
that I
good.
saw was it was an old photo of him when it was the custody match where he's playing a PSP in the backstage and it goes, "Look, perfect evidence to show video games causes violence." And it just broke.
Right.
Oh,
Let's
no,
move
actually,
on.
CM Punk's comment was the best one on the photo. When
yeah.
he's like, I've been
Oh,
waiting
I've wanted
for
to
13
be
years.
I've wanted to be influenced for 18 plus years. Yeah.
Right, let's move on then.
Oh
So,
my
we have
God.
a 4-way tag team match of Braun and Ricochet, Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and Viking Raiders. I will say, I do not give two shits about this match.
It's my bathroom break match, honestly. It's like I'm
Yeah.
going to go refill my drink and go to the bathroom. If I have to pick any team to actually win, I'd probably say Alpha Academy because I've been loving what Alpha Academy have been doing at the moment of like Chad Gable and like Ortiz as Maximilian's like models. Are saying. Yeah, I like how they've had their. Oh no, they look like they were going to separate, and then Otis was like, "Hell no, I'm coming to the ring with you, bro," and like. I was like, oh, that hit my heart.
I get the point of them trying to use up as much of the roster as they can on matches, but putting together these matches that have no meaning are just it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
I think this should be main event of night one. I'm not gonna lie, because
Reese, be quiet before we kick you.
no, right. Some people have trouble sleeping. You know, instead of taking a sleeping pill, you could just put this match on, and then they would fall asleep
Good
fine.
point.
I mean,
You
it
can
is
have
the
your
nap match. Yeah,
can
that's
have your
just
nap
power nap
till-
match.
I honestly
Do
don't
not
mind
degrade
it.
Montez Ford like that. Do not.
No.
Listen,
I don't
listen,
mind
right.
that.
All I'm saying is if Viking Raiders don't win this match, then this match is pointless. They're the only team that should win this match.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Ricochet and Braun are not a tag team. They don't need it.
Yeah.
Alpha Academy are a comedy tag team. They don't need it. Street Profits already have credibility. They don't need it. Viking Raiders are the only ones that, number one, need a title run in the future, need more credibility, and would make the most sense. If they had a dominating performance in this match, people would start to take them more seriously on SmackDown.
Yeah. I agree on that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I don't care who wins as long as Viking Raiders don't.
Yeah, I find it really hard because it's like with this, I remember seeing that, you know, like Triple H doesn't want filler matches, but when this one and the women's one was announced, I'm like, you've completely just gone against what you've just said.
Yeah.
That's
And I
filler
understand-
matches, yeah.
I understand you just want to get people on the card, but it's like when we talk about the women's one, it's like these matchups just feel so forced and put together. And I understand that you want to potentially have someone to go up against if it's Usos if they retain, or if it's Sammy and Kevin if they continue on, if they win. But for me, it's just like I feel like if the match doesn't have a storyline in that capacity, it doesn't really need to be on Mania. So it's not going to be a bathroom break because I'll watch Montez because I like Montez, but I'm just kind of like, well, I feel very indifferent about it.
And then is Maxine gonna come and distract Otis?
Maybe.
I would love that. I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah.
She should be inducted.
It's one of the
in Hall
best
of
things
Fame.
about Monday Night. I agree. It's one of the best things about Monday Night Raw.
It is really fun to watch them, to be perfectly honest.
And I love the way the male
love it.
ones are like, ew, when they see Otis, and Maxine's like just all over him.
You don't understand the physique. You don't understand how great he is.
When that storyline
Just
first
tell
started,
me-
I actually thought it was going to be Gable, not Otis.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Tell me how
Leave it
MMM
out.
was. Tell me how Maximum May Models was voted worst gimmick of last year. Tell me how.
Because they are.
Oh, no, they're not. They're amazing.
Because you
They're
no,
amazing.
right, no. I'm
Because
going to
Daniela
argue this point. Because you had LA Knight join it to try and be a manager, where LA Knight is a number one fucking star, and they shouldn't have put him in a damn weird group that was comedy.
Yeah.
They should have left LA Knight out and made LA Knight be LA Knight in main roster, not this Maximilian
LA Knight could
Models
be-
for a while.
If they didn't put LA Knight in, he could easily have been either US champ or Intercontinental champ by now.
Thank you.
And
You're
also,
welcome.
who would call their kids Max? and
Yeah.
Maxine?
However,
yeah, Max Dupree as well.
I'm
come on.
sorry. I'm sorry, right? Listen, like you had so many great. They were the comedy segment of SmackDown, and then you had the Alpha Academy, the comedy segment of Raw. Like you had a segment on SmackDown where they did like they tried to do the longest pose of all time. How is that? How are critics not finding that funny? It's
It is
great.
No,
It's-
it was funny, but like you took and like to me, who was a super serious character in NXT, slapping straight into a comedy gimmick and make him feel kind of worthless, just sucked.
Oh yeah, it did. I mean, dude, you're talking to an LA Knight guy.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. So you know where my point is of why I saw them as as bad as they were.
Of course.
Also, to just finalize, like what I was saying about this tag match as well, like how you said about Viking Raiders and that, and how we were saying about filler matches. If Triple H really didn't want filler matches, but he wanted tag matches on the card, why didn't he take some of the stand and deliver matches we're getting and just go, you know what? No, we're going to do something different. We're going to put NXT matches on Mania. Don't do stand and deliver. Put their matches on Mania. You could have had the tag team match that they're doing and this women's NXT match. That's two perfect matches that would have fit Mania's level.
I totally agree with you there.
I agree with you, but apart from the fact that you're saying stand and deliver wrong, you have to say it how Pretty Deadly say it, which is stand and deliver.
No, it was the hold on, the stand and deliver.
Deliver.
It was so good. No, honestly, that was. I really wanted to record my review of NXT, but my recording didn't work properly the way I wanted it to. I was literally going to speak about how NXT was not that great of an episode, except for Pretty Deadly carried every time they advertised Stand and Deliver, because they would talk it like it's an incredible story in proper like British like meme, like really old time fashion conversations, and then every time it'd be like, and we will see you at Stand and Deliver. Every single time, and it was just gold.
I love how Kit Wilson says "and deliver."
Yeah, it was
good.
how he did it.
You need to do the stand, and Reach, you need to do the deliver.
Yeah.
Stand.
And then he goes "and deliver."
but he just like he
take my money. Take my money.
They literally did this every time they said deliver as well. They would purposely do like a pose of where they're delivering the pose.
It's like deliver.
Right, guys, we've still got a lot to get through, so let's carry on.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's try and power out. You know what? Let's power around it. We're only going to say predictions now. And
let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Go.
Anyway,
Speedball.
so my pick for that match, because I never actually got to say, is the Street Profits. Let's carry on. So our possible main event for night one is Charlotte versus Rhea.
It's a real win all day.
This doesn't need to be a main event, but yeah, Rhea.
Rude.
This doesn't,
Rhea
shouldn't,
all the way.
couldn't be a main event. Storyline's been crap, but it's going to be the main event.
Roman
Rhea.
Reigns shouldn't be even in it, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think Rhea all the way. It would ruin her momentum if she didn't win.
I'm sorry, if you're not picking Rhea Ripley, like, what are you doing with your life? Please, tell me.
Yeah.
Well, the
I'll
Charlotte.
just see myself out.
1 point really quickly.
Charlotte!
I'm not a Rhea fan. I don't like her.
What do you mean you don't like Bro, this is actually the most hot take episode
Guys,
we've had,
I
and it
think we
hasn't
need to
been
put
from
out- I think
Reese.
we need to put out applications for podcast members.
Oh my god, look.
One of the prerequisites is must love Rhea Ripley. Like,
I know she's probably gonna win it, but I'd like Charlotte to win it, but it's gotta be Rhea. Let's be
Why
honest.
would you like Charlotte to win it? Please tell me.
Won against
doesn't need
Rhea
it.
before. Like, it doesn't make sense in the storyline to do it. She beat Rhea in Rhea's first ever Mania.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for Charlotte to do it twice in a row, because then it ruins Rhea Ripley. I don't know why I said Ripley. It ruins her credibility. It ruins her build of being this monster in the back room, like in the backstage, because no one can freaking beat her. Like, she's dominated the women's roster, and the only person she now needs to get through is the only person that truly beat her, which is Charlotte.
yeah.
So I am obviously going to pick Rhea because we don't know these Charlotte fans. But I am severely disappointed in the build-up of this match. Like, I am so disappointed. The whole point of the Royal Rumble is if you win, you get the main event. That should be the focus up to Mania. And where the fuck have they both been?
And this is it, and this is where they need to stop saying this at the Royal Rumble. You should say you're guaranteed a championship match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed the main event.
No.
Whatever the most interesting storyline is at the time, regardless if you're a man or a woman, like I don't even want to talk about that argument. Like if you're a woman, you need to be in the main event at least once. No, you don't.
No.
If the storyline's good, then yes. If the storyline is good, and let's face it, the most interesting storyline on the both sides at the minute is the tag team match between Kevin and Sami and the Usos and Roman and Cody. They should main event both nights.
I would also put Edge's and Finn Balor's as main event material. I'm sorry, the build for that has been incredible.
But
Jesus Christ, that storyline's been going on since Julius Caesar was assassinated. Oh my god.
Yeah, but this is the perfect culmination of it. Like, look how far it's gone from. They've pushed themselves to their absolute limit and brought the worst of the worst out.
Hang on. I've got a lot to say about that match, so let's talk about that.
One more thing I want to ask quickly about this match for the women is, do you think we could potentially see some turns in there? Because for me, Charlotte as a babyface has not really hit the way that I was hoping it would, and Rhea is severely over to the point where it's like people want to cheer her, but they shouldn't, because she's supposed to be this monster heel. Do you think potentially we could see some turns in this match? You know, Rhea going more on the face side, Charlotte, turning more heel. Like, what do we feel like that's going to happen, or is it just me?
I would say yes, but I think to turn Rhea Ripley face, you'd have to turn the whole of the Judgment Day face,
or into just like a tweener, like into a tweener. She doesn't have to be a heel. She doesn't have to be a face. She just has. It's like in the middle.
I think she would be more a tweener anyway. Like how they've kind of built her is she doesn't want to permanently do bad.
I think Dom will have any interference in this match.
Probably. I kind of hope not.
Yeah, and then Rick will come to Charlotte's aid.
Oh, we lost Reese. Is he back? There we go.
I think Charlotte will turn heel if she loses the title. I can see that.
She's going to lose because if Rhea wins, she becomes Grand Slam champion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great accomplishment.
For me as well, I wanted to say this. I think Charlotte, goes heel, Rhea, tweener. But I also think someone's going to come out and call out Rhea, and I think they're going to have their heel turn if they lose, which we will get to when we say that match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
anyway.
let's move on then. So that is night 1 done. We still have the whole of night 2.
Yay!
Oh, God.
We're
We're
This
going to
is
have to
what
speed up.
Yeah, we do long-ass podcasts,
We
apparently.
need to speed up. So, night 2, we have Bianca versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship.
So this is what I was on about. We'll get to this match. I think Bianca is losing to Asuka, and I think Bianca is going to go heel and stand up to Rhea because they had that interaction. They had a match booked for them, but Rhea got injured. I think Bianca is going to take out all of her frustration, carrying the division, and then look at Rhea and went, look, you couldn't even stay on Raw and carry it. I've had to do it. I'm going to take SmackDown from you and not even give you the chance to carry it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So Bianca to lose, Asuka to win because everyone loves Asuka and Bianca's not ready for Asuka.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think you totally have said my thoughts. I'm just looking behind my computer because my cat's trying to eat my screen. So yeah, I definitely get down. I definitely think it'll be Asuka winning, and I would love to see Bianca turn heel because the heel work that she did in NXT is like
Exactly.
they need to bring it back.
Yeah,
100%.
Wow. I'm going for a Bianca retain. Let's move on, Reese.
Oh no, I want to hear this. Why?
Because she's strong and I don't like Asuka. And I don't want to see Asuka. I do not want to watch Asuka walking around with that championship. I will be so bored out of my mind because she's boring to me. She does the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Same.
but she rebuilt a whole gimmick. She's now like
And I still don't like it.
Me either.
It's fair. An opinion's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's an opinion that hurts me though.
You guys can deal with that in your household later.
So yeah, go on, Reese.
Okay, so you may notice that I put some sunglasses on because we're coming up to some subjects here that I might disagree with a lot of you, and I like to just block out all the blinding lights I get from these crap storylines, and this is one of them.
Blacking out the haters.
Absolutely one of them. Just blacking out the haters. So, Bianca versus Asuka, a storyline that should have been booked as Gorilla Monsoon would say, the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. You have Bianca Belair. For some reason, WWE are not acknowledging that she's literally coming up on a year of holding that championship. I have not heard commentary say that once. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've not heard it.
No,
Maybe.
you are 100% corrected. They're not.
They
doing
have
it like
said
how
though
they
that
are.
she's the longest reigning Black women's champion. Though they have acknowledged that.
Okay, and that's all well and good, but like if we're going to acknowledge the amount of days specifically that Roman Reigns and the Usos have held the championships, can we please also bring up 365, which is also an impressive number?
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're not bringing it up because that would be like Bianca Belair has powered through the entire women's division. She has been unstoppable. No one has been able to take her off the top of the mountain. You've got Asuka now coming back with a revitalized gimmick. Like unstoppable force, battering everyone in the women's division ever since the Royal Rumble, looking like she's going to slaughter Bianca Belair when she gets to WrestleMania. Who is going to come out on top? Why has that not been the storyline? Why have we gotten, oh, I'm going to come and help you when you're in a match. I'm going to come and help you when you're in a match. Oh, Asuka, you're so good. No, Bianca, you're so good. And then last week, we only just got Asuka deciding, what are we doing here? I'm just going to batter her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop a kick on
I
her
feel
real
like
quick.
a lot of the storylines have been like that though.
It's dumb. You know, this is one of the storylines that should have been highlighted. Number one, it's a women's championship match, which is your top 4 belts in the company. And number two, like it's Bianca Belair and Asuka, like your 2 most marketable women in the division, and you've given them nothing to work with.
Yeah, and using that whole trope of can they coexist? Well, no, they can't coexist.
God.
Like
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
they're going up against each other. I hate that trope that they do. They did it with Becky and Charlotte and Ronda, and it didn't work. And they've continued to do it since, and it doesn't work.
Exactly. It pisses me off. Like, can they coexist? No. And why should they? They're planning to rip each other's faces off in a week. Like, I don't understand what the point is. It hardly ever works. Is can they coexisting? And like with a gimmick like Asuka's got, where she's supposed to be an unstoppable killer, and Bianca Belair, where she's ran through the entire women's division for a full year. Why would they coexist? Why would they like each other? The answer is they wouldn't. And you've just been lazy with the storyline.
True.
And I'm picking Asuka, by the way.
Lauren.
I'm with Bianca. I'm with you on this one, Jay. She's just so. Asuka is just so warm.
Hang on.
Don't flash us.
Yeah, I was going to say indecent exposure.
I love that.
You done? Oh, there you go.
We are
Right,
EST Mania.
Oh, my God's sake.
Right, what's the next match, G?
Next match. The next
Mania.
match is a banger
After
banger.
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 Right. Well, this is gonna be the controversial hot take of the world. I genuinely want Sheamus to win. I want him to be the Grand Slam champion, but I don't think he's actually winning. I bank it on Drew McIntyre winning. And the reason why is because when he won his championship, he never had a crowd behind him. He never had the cheers that he did when he was the WWE champion. I think they kind of want to give that him and still make him happy about it. And then it will build a long-standing feud between Drew and Sheamus again. So, Drew McIntyre to win for storyline reasons.
I'd just like to see Gunther win because I want him to beat Honky Tonk's record.
Hell yeah, I like that.
And I saw he's doing an interview with Ariel Helwani. I don't think it's aired yet, but he said that he wants to be a main event in like the main event of WrestleMania next year. I genuinely think if you keep building him up and letting him add prestige to the Intercontinental title, I definitely think that can happen. I just think he needs to be like a massive dominant force, just going through everybody on the roster to show like, hey, I'm not just a mid-carder. I actually can be in the main event picture. So yeah, I've got my bets are all on Gunther to retain.
Nice. I'm on Sheamus. The guy, what I want him to win, he needs to win. And not just because I want him to have that Grand Slam champion. I feel like Sheamus is such a hard worker and he hasn't had a title for such a long time. He definitely deserves a title. But I feel like if Sheamus wins, Gunther can then move up to the world title picture because he is definitely worthy of that.
Yeah, he's ready for it as well.
Yeah. Reese.
Reese.
For me. Okay, let's go. So, right, I have a way in which this match can benefit all three of those people, no matter who wins this match. Now, first of all, I do want to say I agree with Cut, and I think Gunther's going to win, and I think it's because they want to break the Honky Tonk Man's record, and they've got a really good opportunity. They've got Gunther, who's got great momentum behind him. So Gunther retains the Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus is very distraught in the ring. He is like so down. It was his one opportunity and probably last opportunity to become a Grand Slam champion. When all of a sudden he gets claymore by Drew McIntyre, Drew McIntyre turns heel. I would love to see Drew McIntyre turn heel because Drew McIntyre has done nothing since Clash at the Castle. Yeah. And before Clash at the Castle, he's barely done anything since he had the WWE Championship. I think it's high time we see the end of Happy Drew with his little sword and coming out, and all the fans don't really care anymore about him. Drew McIntyre turns heel, becomes a main event heel. He has a feud with Sheamus.
Broken dreams. That's all.
Yes. He has and then that's an excuse for Drew McIntyre and Sheamus to have one last blood feud. And tell me anyone who wouldn't want to see that.
I would, because it'll be a banger after banger.
So then all three of them can move on to separate things. Gunther, you can take on to hold the title at least until SummerSlam, so you beat Honky Tonk's record. And then you've got Drew McIntyre and Sheamus fighting for a little bit, and then they can move on to whatever they need to do.
Yeah.
I feel that. I like that.
Yeah.
I've got to go with Sheamus. Although I wouldn't mind Drew winning either. Sheamus or Drew, I'm happy with. Was
I would
James
love to.
like,
My heart. I agree with you, Lauren. Like 100%. My heart is saying Sheamus. I just like. What's your opinion on it? Do you think, like Lauren? Do you think WWE would be brave enough to put it on Sheamus after all that? Like now,
They should. They should. It's a travesty
Yeah,
that he
they
hasn't
should.
held it yet.
Yeah.
It's also a tragedy he's not a Grand Slam champion yet. Like that
Facts.
is long overdue.
I know.
It will.
right?
I reckon it will happen at some stage. I just think if you put Gunther in the main event, then that'll open up that opportunity for Sheamus
Yeah.
to be
Definitely.
intercontinental.
Definitely. Right.
Right.
Next we have Edge versus Demon Finn in a Hell in a
Here we
Cell
go.
match.
Here we go, baby. Let's go.
It's Demon Finn, and this isn't biased. I don't care. Y'all can fight me in the damn comments. I will knock anyone down with their opinion on against me. Demon Finn needs this more than damn anything. How they buried it to finally have it coming back. He was an undefeated monster, so start that happening again. Make the Demon become what Finn needs it to be. His final form, where he goes, the deep place he needs to go to get the big wins. And like, I get people are going to say Edge needs the win because his time's running out. But not being
Everything
funny.
he's achieved already, he doesn't need it.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Not being funny, Edge has done an amazing Hall of Fame career. The fact we're still getting to see him just get in a ring is great. And the fact of he's going to be doing it against the Demon, which is an iconic character in my eyes, that WWE really did well until the Roman situation. I think that's perfect to rebuild it.
Don't even bring the Roman situation up. That genuinely.
Yeah, Reese, get in a bin. Get in a bin. I see that smile.
Favorite Finn moment of all time. It's my favorite Finn thing of all time. He's on the floor and all of a sudden he starts going. Boom, 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 boom.
And there was oh my god.
Music hits, the lights go.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic scene. He gets up. Oh, it's up for the coup de grace, guys. It's all going to happen. He's about to become the undisputed champion. The ropes break.
The ropes break.
There is I'll have to send you the clip of it. There is a YouTuber I watch who does wrestling videos, and he was doing my favorite things, and he talks about that, and he's like, "Oh, this match, this was gonna happen," and then he was like, "And the freaking ropes break," and he just sounds depressed as he says that, and it's the funniest cut to you. It's just like, "Oh, that happened."
It's the best thing that's ever happened in Finn's career.
Wow.
I'll just say quickly who I think is going to win. I think it'll be Finn, and I've seen people have been filming inside the stadium, and they have the grey cage back. It's not a red cage; it's grey.
Yes,
and I'm
so
this
excited.
As well.
So
yes.
Triple H wants to bring that cage back because he said that people find it really hard to look through the red cage when it comes to a Hell in a Cell match, and the grey cage is just so much easier to look into. So I'm like really excited for that. Yep. I'm actually going to be able to see what's going on.
Thank God for that.
I think Finn's going to win. And I definitely think he needs it as the Demon. I'm excited for the grey cage to be back. Also, a lot of the promotions for the Demon have been purple. I don't know if people have noticed that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think he's going to come out as a purple Demon, which I'm so here for.
I love that.
My favorite
it's
color.
Be amazing.
So I'm here for it 100%.
Yeah.
Same.
Reese, your opinion?
Oh,
does it count?
I'm gonna annoy you all. I'm gonna annoy you all with this. Yeah, I don't care about this feud anymore. I could not give less of a crap about this feud anymore. It's gone on for so long, and we talk about the Brood's coming back. I'm like, no, please let this be the end. Let this be the end. I feel like the day I was born was the day that this feud was halfway through its friggin' cycle. Like it's been going on for so long, and I don't understand why. It's unnecessary. At least with the Bloodline, there's different people involved. All it is Edge just being salty after being salty after being salty. Finn beat him at Extreme Rules. That wasn't even the start of the whole feud. It was a Clash at the Castle, and before then he was feuding with the Judgment Day as well. Like all the way back to about this time, like just over this time last year when he got kicked out of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Edge has been feuding with them ever since. Like, is this seriously still going on? And then you've got situations in where the Judgment Day don't even win some of the matches. I'm like, why does Beth Phoenix need to win?
It's not adding to momentum.
You just need to like relax. It hasn't happened yet. Calm down.
But you've got like, yeah, but I said this on the Raw review. I said this on the Raw review, and like I said, I don't care. Like Demon Finn is like, oh, I always have my demons. Like, Edge, you need to go where you need to go. Go light some candles. Go talk to Christian. Go talk to Gangrel. Get the fangs out. Spit some blood. I don't know what he said apart from that. And then Edge is like, I'm the devil. You're the demon. Devils are better than demons. It says in Exodus 24:50. I'm like, shut up, Edge. I don't care.
Oh my god.
Like, no one cares, Edge. Just have a goddamn Hell in a Cell match. End this feud. I don't care. And like, it's so unnecessary. Like, end it, please. Like, stop it. The feud's already dead. I can't stand this feud anymore.
We don't want to still be live on night 2, still talking about this on night 2.
Oh yeah,
let's
because
get on with it, guys.
that'd be about as long as the Judgment Day's goddamn storyline with Edge. Yeah. Finn's winning. If Finn doesn't win, then I'm eating myself out the window. I can't be dealing with that
Finn for the
anymore.
win.
Gee, we now have a perfect TikTok clip of Reese doing a Finn Balor impression that we need to have from the podcast.
Yeah.
That was too good. Like that.
Right,
broke me.
let's move on, Lauren.
I don't care for this match whatsoever. I am an Edge fan. But I do not care for this match.
Bro,
joking?
you
Okay.
are.
I don't care.
Here's a match that none of us are going to care for except probably Reese. Brock versus Omos.
Oh, Brock.
Yes.
Brock to win. I don't care for
Yes.
Omos. I think
Brock.
Omos is the most.
Brock.
Like,
I think we can
It's
move
Brock
on
for
from
the
this
win.
match really
But I
quick.
think Omos may win if MVP gets involved.
Almost is going to win.
Ooh.
The reforming the Hurt
Reform the
Business.
Hurt Business.
I
Yeah.
mean, if they do that, then I'm okay with it because I love Hurt Business. But I feel like Omos is just kind of like the weak link of the Hurt Business as
Win.
well. Oh, was he
Clive's
being?
gonna win. Clive's
Was he
gonna
being
beat
attention
Omos.
seeking?
He was
I think he's gonna win.
Finn, not Finn. I'm still on Finn. Jesus Christ. Almost. I said this on the Raw review. If you listen to his new theme song, it sounds like the Hurt. It sounds like the Hurt Business theme song.
I caught that,
say
yeah.
Omos again.
And I think 100% that like Almost is going to win this. Brock said he's going to take a break for a little bit. He doesn't need the win. That's my. Let's
But
move
maybe
on.
it could be a situation where Brock wins and then Omos goes away and then they end up reforming the Hurt Business.
Hurt
kind of thing.
Business to bring
The
Omos
loss isn't
back
going to
in.
hurt either of them.
Yeah, I mean,
They should form a tag team.
Yeah.
Big E put it perfectly. It's just a big meaty men slapping meat match.
Oh.
That's all it is.
I'm here for it,
The way,
baby.
the way that you described that is not safe for work. Like
What? No, I didn't say that. Big E said it. Big E was like, "You want your 60 minutes classics? You want your 5 stars? Nah, bump that. I want big meaty men slapping meat."
I love it. I love that
my
segment so
innocent
much.
ears.
I love that.
All right, what's next?
So next we have the throw together women's match of Liv and Raquel versus Natalia and Shotzi versus Sonya and Chelsea Green versus Ronda and Shayna.
Right, my honest
So-
opinion on this, it is ridiculous that you've just made every other female roster just have random freaking tag teams, not actual like genuine women tag teams to look at.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Io and Dakota Kai make sense to be a tag team, but they've got their other match. But if hypothetical, Tegan, where the fuck is Tegan Knox? Where's Candice LeRae? They could be a perfect tag team. That actually makes sense because they had history where they actually wrestled together in NXT. The only other team that makes genuine sense is Ronda and Shayna, and I hate that team dynamic because Shayna doesn't need the Ronda Rousey stink around her because no one's interested in Ronda Rousey. She can't cut a promo. She does the same styled moves in the ring, and she's not really developed or improved her character. Her character is literally, I'm Ronda Rousey. I'm an ex-UFC fighter. I'm pretty good. That's it. Also, last rant of what I'm going to say. Why the hell have you picked Shotzi Blackheart to go with Natalia? That makes no sense in my mind. I love Shotzi 2 pieces, and Natalia is like, Natalia has her accolades, but Natalia is not doing the same as what she used to do in the ring anymore. And Shotzi hasn't had her opportunities. This is not an opportunity to build either of them.
No. Totally agree with you there. I think this match is solely made so that Ronda and Shayna can look like a threat amongst these three like tag teams that have been thrown together. And I was actually just looking on Twitter, and WWE have announced that 4 of the 8 WrestleMania showcase participants will face off in a star-studded fatal 4-way match. And it's going to be Natalya, Raquel, Shayna, and Sonya.
Why is it not Shotzi over Natalya?
I don't know, but what did I say before about can they coexist? Why are you going to have 4 of the people in the match together when we can see this on Sunday?
Exactly.
Like it just
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with the statement of it is literally just seems like it is built for Ronda and Shayna to look like a strong tag team going forward to they're going to go for damage control after this.
The thing is, they've put together like 3 tag teams of people that have not necessarily wrestled together, so their chemistry is going to be awful.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're just making the women's division just look awful. Like put people that are going to work together well. You can have these throw together teams, but you can actually have people that make sense.
Shotzi and Natalya is one of the most weirdest combos I have never thought of putting them 2 together ever in my life.
Putting it perfectly honest, you should have gave the opportunity to some of the NXT women that aren't doing that ladder match, like other NXT women stars that could work together, like Alba Fire, that tag team of Alba Fire and
Isla
Dawn. That I know they're wrestling on NXT Standard and Deliver. As long as they're not injured, they could go wrestle the same night on Mania. They're already in LA. It makes sense. They're an actual tag team.
I'm thinking as well too. Instead of having these stupid throw together tag matches, why can't we just have a battle royale? If you want people on the WrestleMania, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm just so annoyed about this. But just have some battle royales. I don't know, have something like that so that it actually looks like this, and put some stakes in it as well. Be like, and this is for an opportunity at some title later on down the line. So it actually makes it feel worth it.
They could have made that an 8 women's match, and the winner gets to face the winner of the Raw or the SmackDown, you know.
Yeah.
At Backlash.
Yeah.
Set up your next PLE.
Then, exactly.
I would have even put it even better. I would have turned around and said you get to wrestle them the newest champion the next night. I would have done it on the Raw after Mania. If you win this, you get to fight the new Raw or the current retaining Raw champion. Like
at least put some stakes behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And even if it wasn't a battle royale, do it as a tornado tag team match. So it's no actual tag teams. It's just anyone tags themselves in and wrestles, and then whoever's pinned, you're out, and you do it then you get the last 2.
Or a gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Yeah, that would have been good too.
Yeah, just do something, honestly.
Just not do random tag teams together and be like, oh, here you go, it's an exhibition match. We don't want that type of filler match. No one does.
Because doing that makes me feel like Triple H isn't, like, because, people are saying, oh, Triple H is putting so much thought into what he's doing. It's like, well, what the fuck is this?
No. Are we all in agreement that Shayna and Ronda are winning this?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Who does Lauren think?
I don't want Shayna and Ronda to win.
And neither do I, but they're going to.
It feels like they're going to win. Yeah,
I know, but this match hurts.
What happened to Chelsea and Carmella? Like, I would have liked them to see.
Carmella's injured.
She's injured.
Yeah, Carmella's injured.
She had a pregnancy scare. She did open up about it on her Twitter and stuff.
That was ages ago. That should have miscarried.
Yeah, but she's still got injuries recovering from it. She got one match. She had one match back in and recurring injuries. After that
it was an ectopic pregnancy that she had.
That's the one.
Yeah,
so it's when it develops in your fallopian tubes. I think I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, no, that is completely correct.
So it doesn't grow.
I just
Science
feel like they
without
were starting Carmella and Chelsea off so well, and then obviously can't be helped she got injured, but I really want to see those 2 tag team going forward.
Same.
Oh yeah.
I just this whole situation.
One thought that I did have about that is that you could always say, for example, if Carmella's going to be out of action for a while, you could always keep her on TV as like Chelsea's manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that. Keep her there.
Or the other way you do it is Carmella's the sweet talker, because you noticed how she spoke to Adam Pearce all fine, and Adam Pearce was like, yeah, I'll book you in a match. She sweet talks every week at Chelsea Green into a match, because obviously Chelsea Green's like, I want to talk to your manager. Give me a damn match.
It's all about the approach.
I love it. I love it.
Do the dynamic of a good cop and bad cop, where Carmella sweet talks her into matches, and then Chelsea Green be's a dominant person in the ring with a bitchy attitude. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love them two together because Carmella can come across as very obnoxious as well at times. So, did somebody read the comments? Somebody said they might bring the Iconics back. I doubt it.
Do not tease me with a good time.
I know, right? I'd do anything to get Peyton Royce back on my screen.
I think that would be the iconic moment of Mania. Sure.
The Iconics will come back when Eva Marie comes back to WWE.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, because you'll break.
Right. She noticed me today. It's fine, guys.
I was gonna say, if you see G like pass out and I'm calling an ambulance, it's from like pure excitement that Eva Marie and Iconics walked out.
If Eva Marie
she had so many
out,
questions in her live though.
My network.
Oh my god.
And my Sky Sports.
Right. Anyway. And that wraps up all the matches tonight. I don't think we've got anything else to talk about.
I think we've got one more to talk about. I think we've got one more match to talk about.
There's nothing on my list. I can't see any more matches.
Well, your list is incomplete. Kind of like the Bloodline storyline. So let's talk about it.
Oh my god, here we go.
So,
Reese, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I would love to talk about this match. Yes, okay. So the big main event. Night 2 of WrestleMania. We have got the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Now, previously in Night 1, we saw the Usos disgrace the Bloodline. They lost the tag team titles. You've got Roman all paranoid and annoyed with the Usos. Jay in particular, because he came back too late and too little to help Jimmy and form a strategy to defeat him, because they've been unstable for the past couple of weeks. So we get to the main event. We get to Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. He's already rattled and annoyed. He's not really got much backup because the Bloodline are in tatters. I tell you, tatters. Maybe Solo's there, I don't know, but Solo's been acting a bit, rambunctious lately. So, long story short, Roman's winning. He's getting to 1,000 days.
Guys, sorry, can I just interrupt quickly? Lana got to meet Trish and Lita.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Big shout out to her.
Right now.
No, that's perfectly
that
fine.
is awesome.
We can talk about this for a second, because when I muted at the beginning of the podcast, she was calling me to show me she was in line to meet John Moxley.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
She's just posted her photo with Moxley. So
I'm so jealous.
Big shout out to our good friend
Lana
Lana
Banana.
Banana.
We love you, Lana.
Shout out Lana Banana.
She is having the best time at
Carry
Mania.
I was just getting to my main point. I was just saying that as much as it would be amazing that Cody Rhodes would complete his story and win the WWE Championship, unfortunately, it's not just for the WWE Championship, for reasons that I cannot explain. So, unfortunately, again, Roman's going to retain. There is no way you get, and by the way, at Night 2, we're on about 945 days of a title reign. There is no way WWE are going to let Roman Reigns get that close to 1,000 days and drop the title, because they will never, ever have this opportunity again for the next 10, 15 years. Think about that for a minute. He has had the title since 2020, and now they would let him drop it to get to when he's this close to 1,000. I just don't see it happening. I think they should have taken the titles, split them up, and said, listen, Cody, you won the Royal Rumble match. You get to challenge for a title. Obviously, he was going to pick the WWE Championship because that's the one that Dusty wanted. It's the one that he said he was going to win for his dad last year. Perfect little storyline on Monday Night Raw. I don't understand why they haven't split it. It's late to do so if they're planning to on SmackDown, which I don't think they will do.
I do agree with the not splitting the titles. I think it would have made more sense. And I've been saying this as soon as Mania season was even getting close. Like, I don't get why they didn't do what New Japan did with Wrestle Kingdom, where they made the champion because they were holding the IWGP Heavyweight and the Intercontinental. They made them fight on both nights for each belt.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they had a fatal 4-way on the Wrestle Kingdom Night 1's match to decide who was wrestling on Night 2. I don't get why they didn't do that and pick people who would be iconically main event talent that could have done it. You could have took your Solo Sikoa, your LA Knight, your Ricochets. Like, you could have picked some decent, damn good mid-carders that you'd be shocked if they had an opportunity, because they still don't need to win at Night 2, because you could have booked it as Cody wins Night 1, gets his WWE title, Roman retains Night 2 with the SmackDown Universal, and you give a chance for another wrestler to have a main event chance.
Well, I'll say this,
dude.
I'll say this. Why didn't we do Sammy and Roman again?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why are we still talking about this?
Jeez, just
No, Reese has got a very valid point of why don't we have Cody win Night 1?
Guys.
Why don't we have Cody wins Night 1, wins the WWE title, and then Sammy gets another chance at Roman for the Universal? I don't get why they didn't do that.
I mean, do you feel if you did Roman and Sammy Night 2, it would take away from the fact that Cody won the Rumble?
No.
And if they're trying to word it as a main event, do you think it would take away?
Yes,
Night
I agree. I think it would.
Not at all, because I wouldn't have finished Sami Zayn's story with Roman at the Elimination Chamber. I would have kept it going past the Elimination Chamber. I think it was a bit. I mean, I know it was in Montreal, great reaction and everything, but again, Clash at the Castle was in Cardiff and Drew lost. So like, just for a pop, I don't like. There's no need to ruin a storyline just for a cheap pop. I've always said that they could have done the tag team championship match at the Elimination Chamber with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, and maybe that's where the Usos lose, I don't know, the SmackDown tag team titles. But with this at WrestleMania, it would be perfect. It really would be perfect. I mean, Roman Reigns number 1 is a big draw, so it'd be great to have him on both nights. And number 2, you've got a situation here where you get the best of both worlds. I understand. I am a Bloodline stan. I know I am. But I also understand the other side of it, where people are sick of Roman Reigns as champion. I get that bit. Like, not everyone enjoys the storyline. I understand it. So it would please both people to maybe give Cody Rhodes 1 championship, so you've got a championship there every single week on Raw, and then you've still got the Universal Championship, the historic reign that Roman has got going on around his waist. It suits both. Like parties, it suits both crowds of people who want this. They want different things. And also, by the way, apparently WWE still haven't made a decision on who's going to win this match. So they would have made it easier for them.
I find that really hard to believe, because it's like, well, if they're planning for all this stuff, maybe they're just saying that they don't know who's going to win to throw us off the scent. It seems for me, it seems very far-fetched that WWE would not know who's going to win the show of all shows.
I would agree, but we have had this literal situation before at WrestleMania where Roman was going to beat Brock for the title, and then he didn't.
And then Seth cashed in
on the day. The heist of the century type thing.
Love that.
Also, the thing is as well, another point I was going to make with all of this going on, the fact of they could be saying this because obviously we saw the promotion material of Cody has a new personalized redesigned belt of what he would have if he won. This is a thing. So people are going to be like, well, it's guaranteed Cody's going to win now because they gave him a customized belt. And it's like, well, no, because they've just gave not Triple H, they've just gave Undertaker a customized belt just to celebrate the Undertaker and like the anniversary of him.
Yeah.
WWE do these custom belts all the time. It's not something new to us. Don't get me wrong. If Cody won, I want that to be Cody's legitimate belt because it's beautiful. But also at the same time, WWE have confirmed they sometimes do just call it in the ring. Santino Marella was a crazy close one to winning when he was in an elimination chamber because how much the crowd were over him. It was literally, they said, if he carried on for another 10 minutes in that match and the crowd was so over with him, they would have called him to be the winner.
Yeah.
So they could do that type of thing of, depending on how he performs, depending on how much the crowd is over on who it is, they could call it in that ring in that moment to be like, Roman for pin, Cody for pin.
Yeah.
I know this sounds a bit like weird after 3 years of him holding the championship, but I think it's a little bit too formulaic for Cody to win the championship. I think it's too predictable.
No,
And
I agree.
But-
I do agree.
I
But
think it would
sometimes
shock-
predictability is what you need, though. Like sometimes
Agreed.
if you've seen
Agreed.
it go down this way, I think that's the way to do it.
Or like we said, Bloodline are gonna lose tag titles night 1. Night Roman is gonna go off on them at night 1. Night 2, they're gonna come out. Like Roman's gonna have it won. They're gonna come out. They're gonna distract Roman. Cody's gonna hit the crossroads and good night, Roman.
Yeah, but that's my thing with, I've got a couple of things to say on this. So my first thing, I'll just relate it back to what Lauren said. In the singles match, obviously, Paul Heyman's going to be there. Potentially there'll be Solo there. And then you'll have the fact of the Usos will want to come and help Roman. But obviously you have been having Sammy and Kevin helping with Cody. So maybe they can come into the defense, sort out the Usos, and then someone can come out and sort out Solo because Solo's the outlier. The numbers game doesn't match up.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is like, I can appreciate, I said this in my TikTok, I can appreciate the reign of Roman and I can appreciate everything he's done for the business. I am just somebody who I want just fresh matchups. And that's not to say that I don't like Roman, because I do, even though, like, you know, I'm wearing a Cody shirt right now. For me, it just needs to be Cody. It needs to be someone new. Cody needs to finish the story. And one video that I did see from Crowbro on TikTok, so Isaac, he posted a video where it was like a POV. You're watching Cody's entrance at WrestleMania, and he showed me the video before he put it up because he wasn't sure if he should put it up. But I said, no, man, this is a fantastic video. It was the wrestling has more than one royal family, and then it was the American Dream part, and then it was the rest of Cody's music. I cried when I saw that because I was like, I really want them to do that. That would be such a great homage to Dusty, while still recognizing Cody as himself as an individual. I genuinely think that would be a great way to do it. And I'm probably going to cry during the entire match because I love Cody. I want Cody to win, and I just wish that Dusty was here to see the growth in Cody and how he is as a person, as a wrestler, what he's done. He left a business that he was making good money in, went out on the independents, did it all on his own, formed a new rival company that's obviously got the same caliber, if not greater caliber of talent that WWE has. And he's come back and he's made himself a main eventer, which he wasn't when Dusty was there. And it's just like, I would love to see Dusty's reaction if he came back and if he saw all this, like how he would feel if he saw Cody and is like, damn, like you really did it.
Of course.
I'm totally down for that. And this is me being 100% real right now. I wouldn't be disappointed if Cody Rhodes won. I really wouldn't.
No.
But what I will say is, the next night on Raw, it needs to be handled very carefully. And I say this because Roman now has a reason to crumble if he loses the championships. And I think how that is handled on Raw, and this is me just booking it, if Cody wins the championships, you have Roman Reigns go off on the Usos. Maybe even he throws hands on him, beats him down. Roman Reigns then gets destroyed by Solo Sikoa. I think that's what needs to happen. Because then, not only, and I've said this a bunch of times on TikTok, not only then does that make Solo Sikoa's storyline come full circle. He showed up at Clash of the Castle because the elders sent him to look after Roman Reigns. He's no longer the paycheck. He's not got the championships anymore. Solo Sikoa does not need to be loyal to Roman, and he's just seen him beat down his brothers. Solo Sikoa beats down Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns takes the break that apparently he wants. Solo Sikoa, you instantly there create a star. If he beats down Roman Reigns, he is instantly either whatever you want him to be. He is either the top face on a certain brand or he's the top heel. I'd rather him be the top heel, managed by Paul Heyman.
To be honest, I don't think Solo would, because of like, you know, the size and stuff, I don't think, and the look, I don't think he'd be a face. I think they should keep him as a heel.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I think as well. And Paul Heyman needs to play a pivotal part in it as well, because Paul Heyman sees Roman Reigns crumbling. Paul Heyman sees where the money is. The money is in Solo. Paul Heyman has used Solo Sikoa before to manage problems in the bloodline. He knows how good he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the wise man.
I definitely think that tonight's SmackDown is definitely going to be a way of us seeing how WrestleMania is potentially going to unfold. Because at the end of Raw, and you would have said this in your review, Reese, Paul Heyman was on the phone to Roman. Well, he was pretending, I don't know if he was or not, but he was making it look like he was on the phone to Roman.
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to come up with a plan or many plans to make sure that the bloodlines still come out with their titles. And I do think if the Usos lose on night one, that'll start to be the undoing of Roman.
Yeah.
That'll start to be.
People are also
we'll see
speculating. Like, people are speculating that Paul Heyman was talking to someone else or got someone else to come in as well. That'll get revealed to us. And very interesting fact, by the way, is one of the other Fatu brothers is now currently training under Booker T. So who knows?
Yes. Or was it Umaga's son? Umaga's son, I think it is.
Umaga's youngest son. I think it's Zinku or something like that. And
yeah.
I saw something about it. It was like Zaku or Zinku or something like that. But I saw he's training under Booker T. So who knows? He could come into NXT, and that could be another extended part of the Bloodline storylines.
I mean, it'd be dope. It really would.
You could always bring Jacob Fatu in too.
Exactly.
Jacob Fatu, exactly. There's another one. But that's what all that I'm saying. Like, I know I'm a Bloodline stan. I'm a Solo. I'm a Roman stan.
Lauren is here.
but I wouldn't be disappointed if Cody won. I think it'd be a beautiful moment because I was very invested in Cody before he got injured. I thought when I saw that promo that he did when he got his father's pictures up holding the WWE Championship on the Titantron this time last year, I thought it was beautiful. And the first thing I thought was, he's the guy that's beating Roman. So I wouldn't be disappointed. I just think
needs to finish the story.
The story needs to be finished, but it needs to be handled very carefully, because if it doesn't, then it's 3 years down the drain for one, and two, no one else in the bloodline is getting any rub off Roman if it's not handled well the next night.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just think regardless of who ends up being the winner, I think they need to also think very carefully on who they're going to have feud with each other separately if they want to separate Cody and Roman. I do think that needs to be a massive factor, because if, say, for example, you have Roman win and Cody has all this momentum and he loses, where do you go from there with Cody? You need to have some form of idea of where Cody's path is going to go, and if it's going to eventually come back to a main event title picture scene. You need to have the planning done, which is why when Reese said earlier they don't even know who's going to win yet at Mania, I'm also now in the back of my mind thinking they need to have some idea of what's going to happen with these individual stars after Mania.
Agreed.
If it was me, I would have Cody feud with Finn. Or if you're bringing in Jay White, I'd have him feud.
Yes, there we go.
Randy Orton.
That's something that we haven't even spoken about yet.
Well, that was the next thing I was going to move on to when we're finished with the Bloodline talk anyway.
I'm done. We can move on.
I think we've said enough. I feel like we've got it down pretty much.
So the last thing I have to speak about is any possible returns during or after Mania.
Jay White. I really think Jay White's coming.
When we say returns, if we're saying returns are just WWE wrestlers, but I would also say like surprises of like free agents,
like surprise debuts.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
I'm calling it. Harry Smith. I'm calling it.
So I think
Harry Smith.
That's an interesting one. I think Nick Aldis could be.
I don't see
it
going to WWE because of how dirty they did Mickey.
Just because they did Mickey dirty, but they also kind of fixed it because they let her be the Impact Women's Champion.
I was just going to say,
did you see the interview? I think it was Chris Villa he done it with, and he was NWA champ, and they were like, "Would you ever go to WWE?" And he was like, "Unfortunately, the powers that be, there's somebody there blocking his way into WWE. I think everybody can work out who it is themselves."
It was Vince, actually. So, Vince not being there now.
No, it wasn't Vince.
Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
No.
I would love to see Nick Aldis.
I
Like I
would
said,
love to see
I
Nick
can't.
go in WWE,
I
but as
can't-
Nick Aldis, like, don't give him a stupid name or a stupid character.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
think-
literally saying copy and paste his NWA career, copy and paste him
Yeah, definitely.
into there, and I think one, that's a great contender for freaking Cody in general. If Cody wins, I think that would be a crazy main event because they've had that history of fighting for the NWA title because Cody was an NWA champion.
Yeah.
In the same lines of his dad, so that's a perfect storyline. And I also think it'd be interesting to see him do a USA match against either Cena or Theory. I think that's a big one.
There's so many that like Nick would be perfect against.
Exactly, yeah. And also the whole speculation of Jay White. I think Jay White would be perfect in WWE for the storylines alone. I think
his look is immaculate at the minute as well.
He
looks like a star.
A lot of people were speculating if they were going to do the United States Championship Open Challenge, that Jay White would probably
Jay White would come out, yeah, and I think that would be a great way because he started with his career majorly with winning the New Japan USA title. That's like what elevated him, so it would make sense for him to do another US and elevate it that way. But I'd love to see feuds where he's getting involved with the Good Brothers, and then maybe he gets in the Good Brothers' ears and kicks AJ Styles out and builds that feud of where he takes over the original club and becomes that leader and goes, forget this original, we're Bullet Club, and forms a Bullet Club in
in
That'd be
WWE.
Because I was going to say, AJ's still injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
so,
So that's what I'm saying. It's just that, wow, he'll be like, wow, the OC need leadership. They need a person that will put them back on actual television, not put them to main event. And Jay could do that. Last one, because I don't want to take major spotlight off everyone else. Matt Cardona is another huge one for me.
I was going to say him 100%.
I think he finishes his GCW stuff tonight, and then he surprises everyone. And
He's definitely
Cardona is in LA.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's
is.
He's
got
at WrestleCon.
GCW.
Lana got a picture with him, so
But I think he is going back. There was a video on his page of him and Steph Delander, and he was like, my beautiful wife has gone back home, I'm not ready to go back yet and stuff. So he his end game is back to WWE at some point, but they need to bring him in as Matt Cardona and not Zack Ryder.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in these interviews, they're purposely trying to throw people off the scent, because if they told you everything straight off the bat, then you would almost be expecting it. Whereas if he's like, oh yeah, like my end game's there, I'm not quite ready yet, and then he shows up, you're like, whoa, I wasn't even expecting that. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what I was saying about he's in LA, he's got his last couple of GCW matches. Steph Lander, who's been tagging with being his vignette girl, she just debuted on AEW Dark, so she's got her television stuff going forward. So she doesn't really need Matt Cardona, meaning boom, Matt Cardona can go and do it. He could finish his GCW stuff, win or loss, finish that story tonight, and then go straight to Mania.
What he's doing now on the
WrestleMania in LA?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
He is literally half an hour away from the stadium, unironically.
What he's doing now, on the indie scene, is just perfect for WWE, and he needs to bring that character.
Yeah,
exactly.
Speaking of people, and I don't know if it'll be right after Raw, right after WrestleMania and stuff, but I'll say it to Ross, because obviously you look at the dirt sheets a lot as well. Have you seen the rampant rumors about FTR?
Yes, but I don't agree. I don't
think I have. What's going on?
Right, so FTR have made an announcement for this Wednesday on Dynamite. If they do not win the belts off the Gun Club, they leave AEW. They could not.
Oh, okay.
They originally said, we will separate as a tag team. We will no longer be a tag team. So they were like, that's not good enough. They were like, right, if, we won't ever tag again, we won't be FTR. We will never do a tag match with anyone in AEW. And they were like, that's not good enough. And they were like, fine, if we can't beat you for these belts on Wednesday, we leave AEW. So now they also posted an image where they're in LA with CM Punk training in a gym.
Yeah, I've seen that. I did see that.
Yeah.
I think
the
a lot of
contracts are
wrestling
nearly up
in
as well.
LA.
Their contracts are already up. They are on a handshake agreement to do this match with the Gun Club.
Yeah.
So
I won't lie to you. I could see them back in WWE. Now that Triple
I
H is
don't.
more controlling creative, I could see them back. I don't know if it'd be immediately. Like I said, I don't think it'd be Raw.
I think
Um,
it's all the work. Genuinely, I think this is a huge work to swerve everyone, get everyone panicking that FTR are going to lose, to FTR do the shocker, win, and then I genuinely think FTR are going to call out either Blackpool Combat Club or they are going to call out freaking Acclaimed again and be like, wow, you guys never really fought us. How about we actually fight for the belts and give you a chance again?
I hope that's the case. I want him to. I do want him to stay in AEW. But I do think they need to start being booked correctly. I know we're not talking about
So-
AEW, but anyway.
Yeah.
With returns quickly, is there any females that we would like to see come back? Because we've been talking about the men a lot.
Just gonna mention, has anybody seen what Alexa Bliss has been posting?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
No.
Alexa.
So
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss has said she is sorry she's been away. She's been working on something big. WrestleMania's around the corner.
And
So
then
let's-
she's got that new
yeah.
jacket made. And it had
Yeah.
like Alexa
Yeah.
on it.
Okay. Because she was off TV because she had some form of skin cancer or something
Yeah.
that she was
Yeah.
getting sorted too.
She's,
So
it was literally from the eye socket to the cheekbone, like
Oh my
bottom of the
gosh.
cheekbone.
She had
Yeah,
a bit
she
of a
showed
surgery,
photos.
didn't she?
Yeah, she showed
Yeah.
the photos of the stitches and the
Jeez,
surgery after. She's got it all cleared. She's perfectly healthy and everything now, and there's already been
Mm.
cleared to be back in the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Alexa Bliss teasing it because she even got asked it on like actual interviews, and she was like, "Well, you never know. WrestleMania season's around. You know, I'm never
just
going
trying
to
to
say
think,
never."
is there anyone else that we'd like to see?
Yes.
Like I know that I would love to see Naomi come back, but I know that she's done with WWE for now.
Indy Hartwell. I want Indy Hartwell to come up.
I want Indy to come up, but
The
Indy's
biggest.
not returning. Indy's already there.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a call.
No, but to call up to main roster, yeah.
Maurice,
Yeah.
I'd love to see Maurice like in a match, though, a proper match. Not
I
like
get that.
Maze, but
Hmm.
singles match.
Yeah.
But there is one female that is the biggest free hot agent right now. Your former first ever IWGP Women's Champion,
Oh, Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane, is a free agent, and she has spoke how she wants to be back in the
I
USA.
don't think she would come back to WWE though.
I think she would. I
Hasn't-
think Triple H
Hasn't
would
she
be
been
up.
added to that match with Mercedes though?
No. That's
Okay.
too complete. They've completely cut Kyrie out because she's free agent. They've not asked her
Okay.
to be back in Stardom or anything. Literally,
Such a joke, that.
Kyrie Sane was literally turned around and said, "I'm a free agent." And when she was asked where she would like to go, she was like, "I'd love to be in the USA again. There are wrestlers that I didn't get to wrestle that I want to." She literally listed Britt Baker. She listed Becky Lynch. She listed Asuka again. She was she
Io?
basically listed. Yeah, she even said like EO, everyone. She
Mm.
listed anyone and everyone who you could think. She was saying AEW. She was saying WWE. She was just saying she wanted everyone. She even said Trish Stratus. She was like, "I'd love to wrestle Trish."
Mm.
That'd be cool. I won't mind that.
Yeah.
So
I think all in all, just the general consensus of WrestleMania this year, like Nick Khan said, is just like expect the unexpected, or like, you know, there's just so much that could happen that like we're talking about this now, and it's like we could be completely wrong because something else could happen, and it's just
Imagine
like
if everything we've said tonight they do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'd love though to see Victoria come back for a little bit.
Oh, that's
that
a
would be
one.
good. Who would
Yeah.
you have her feud with if you wanted her to come back? If you want to book this?
I feel like
I
Rhea.
know.
Yeah, Rhea
Yes,
makes sense.
yeah. 100%. I'd love to
I'd-
see that.
I'd love
I
a
was thinking
Victoria
sad,
and
I was
Shotzi
thinking
match.
sad.
I'd love a Victoria Shotzi match because just the more like aggressive, like rocker
Yeah.
style of those wrestlers.
I won't
So
mind
I'd be down
seeing.
for
I won't mind seeing Victoria versus Shayna. I'm
that.
not gonna lie, that'd be dope.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. I'd like
I
That's
that.
would-
something that I didn't
yeah.
know that I needed in my
Victoria
life.
squashing Ronda would be like the highlight of.
Victoria squashes Ronda. Hell yeah. let's
Widow's
go.
Peak on Ronda. Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
But I just saw the comments as well. Someone saying Kabuki Warriors to be reformed would genuinely love that. One of my all-time
Kabuki
favorite
Warriors
tag teams.
versus Damage Control.
Yes.
Kabuki Warriors
Yes.
are good. I liked Asuka when she was Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, Kabuki
Yeah.
Warriors were just so over. I loved them as a tag team because they actually had such good synergy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I think we'll do final thoughts and then we need to wrap this up because we've been here for a while.
Yeah,
a lot
it's
to cover.
WrestleMania podcast, baby. Of course, we've been here for a while. Let's go.
We've
Final thoughts.
I was gonna say we've had to cover 3 days worth of content. Like, of
Yeah.
course, we're gonna be here for a long time. My final thoughts are: this WrestleMania has been actually really well thought out, except for the filler that we already ranted about, and the fact of it's nice to have it come back to Hollywood, and they've kept doing the hey, we're gonna do movie trailers like we did like all those years back, and just have fun. They've had so much fun with the marketing for this WrestleMania. It's made me more excited for it because, not being funny, last year's marketing and everything just felt like, oh, we're out of the pandemic. That's all we've marketed it as. Let's just quickly do matches. And it just, last year's WrestleMania didn't feel like a WrestleMania. It felt like a blur. So this one I'm like so much happier about, and I'm like very excited to go and watch this.
Yeah. I just had one thought as well too. With WrestleMania night 1, night 2, what match are you most looking forward to, and what match do you think is going to steal the show?
Oh, okay. Night 1's hard. I want to say Ray. I want to say Ray and Dom, just for the story on that. I think that's going to be a huge one, and I'm going to be wild with this one. I genuinely think that will steal the show as well. Like, I can't see many others topping that type of storyline. Night 2, Finn versus Edge is the most I'm looking forward to. But I think the showstopper for Night 2 and the stealer, Gunther, Sheamus, Drew. It's too stacked not to be the showstopper. Like, don't get me wrong, Cody versus Roman, that's huge. That is going to be the hugest thing of the year. But like that. Gunther's match for me.
It's going to be a banger.
Banger.
After banger.
G, what do you think?
I think the Usos and Kevin and Sami Zayn is going to be a really good match because I definitely feel like the Usos are going to crack after that. But I definitely think the showstopper is going to be Drew, Sheamus, Gunther. It's going to be the match of the weekend. That's going to be Meltzer's 5-star match, I'm telling you.
We hope Meltzer gives it 5-star. He rarely ever gives a WWE match a 5-star.
I know, right?
That's something we can talk about another time, Dave Meltzer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we need to do an AEW episode. We'll get into Dave Meltzer's biases.
If we're talking WrestleMania, I think Brock and Omos is going to be the show stealer. No, I'm joking. I think no, like in terms
I really
of, like,
bit my tongue there.
I thought he was serious.
Me too.
No.
I was like, for good reason.
Like, yeah, innit? Show stealer indeed, man. Like, I can just imagine it. No. Right, so I think just because of crowd investment and the fact that people will be so behind him, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Usos would be match of the night night 1. Night 2, I would probably say the triple threat. But if we're talking the weekend, and this might be controversial, but I truly think if it is given time,
he's going to go for that NXT match.
That North American Championship 5-pack challenge or 6-pack challenge is going to be dope. Yeah. Like, if it's given more than 15 minutes,
Straight away.
if it's given more than 15 minutes, the people that are in that match, the people that work in that match, and like just the story that goes into it, Wes Lee wanting to challenge himself, wanting to like put himself up against all the best of NXT. Dude, it's Dragon Lee's first match. Like, I can't say that he's not going to steal the whole weekend, because like I said, if it's given time, it will.
The thing is as well, you've got Dragon Lee and Axiom in the ring. They are going to do high flying craziness in that ring against everyone else, and I'm here for it. And then Ilya as well, like, bro.
And JD as well. He's sick.
Yeah. Well, that's just Finn Balor too.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people hate that when they speak about JD because, like, Devlin was like, I'm trying to be my own self. But the fact you were trained by Finn Balor and you show it with how you wrestle.
He does this really special move, though, where, like, all of a sudden he just hits that Spanish fly out of nowhere. That's my favourite move that he does.
Yeah, I love that.
It's fantastic. But yeah, and my final thoughts for the weekend is going to be, I feel like I was proven right in January when I was saying I feel like we're not having a lot of Mania matches built up, and then it got to the end of February and I was like, we're still not having a lot of the card filled up. And now we're at the point where, like, some of the matches have been built upon 3 weeks of storytelling. The Women's Championship matches, for example, the tag team champion, the tag team showcase bullshit thing, whatever it is. You've got the 6-woman tag team match. Don't get me wrong, all of these matches could be great. They could be great, but I like a bit of investment in my wrestling. I do, and I think that this could potentially be a very good WrestleMania. But there is some matches on there that could disappoint. But I think the matches that have been booked on there properly could really carry the whole weekend. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool. Laura?
I think I agree with kind of Ross and Reese for both nights.
Oh, in terms of the matches, like which match do you think is going to steal the? Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think definitely Dom and Ray is going to be a big show stealer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree, especially if what we were saying before, that theory that someone had, I can't remember where it was from, where like maybe Ray gives him his mask. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a moment. That would be the moment of the weekend.
All the years that Ray has kept his face covered, and then he just I don't even have words for it.
It'd be an emotional moment.
Ray unmasked before once or twice.
Yeah, all the way back in WCW.
Yeah, he was forced to do it. He wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, we do know what he looks like with the old WCW stuff, but yeah.
But it's kind of like though when Kane lost his mask too. Do you know, it's kind of like that. Even though everyone knew what he looked like, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. I feel like with that as well, the character loses some of the allure that it has if you take the mask away.
It
loses
Kane.
Some of it.
He definitely did with Kane, 100%. Especially the reveal. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Was I the only one that actually thought that like Kane and Undertaker were actual brothers, and that?
No, I thought that when I was younger.
I was gonna say, I think everyone believed into that for like the longest time.
Wait, they're not.
No.
Oh.
When I was actually really young, and that whole storyline where like Undertaker burnt down the family home and Kane was inside, I believed that. I was like, oh my god, Undertaker's a douchebag.
Yeah.
I pushed Kane into the fire and stuff.
Yeah, burnt the house down with him inside it, and then Paul Bearer like looked after him for years, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good.
Right, come on then, let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
WrestleMania is going to be really good this year.
Hell yeah.
I do think they could have done a little bit more work creative wise with the women's matches. Like, don't get me wrong.
Agreed.
They're going to be great matches. Bianca Belair 2 years in a row has done phenomenal at WrestleMania, and I do think that you could easily class her as the Miss WrestleMania.
Oh,
like, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that.
She's a show stealer at the Showcase of the Immortals, and I cannot wait to see her perform. I definitely agree with you guys in saying the triple threat IC title match is going to be phenomenal. I'm just excited nonetheless for Mania. It's my favorite time of the year. It's like Christmas for us wrestling fans. I'm so excited.
My friend Steve put it perfectly. WrestleMania for us is football fans' Super Bowl. Like WrestleMania is our Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, this has been fun.
Hell yeah.
Dope.
As always, we've hit nearly 2.5 hours because Reese likes to talk too much.
All of us have, though. All of us have really gone in depth, and I loved the in-depth conversation this evening.
So why do you think my Raw and SmackDown reviews are like 40 minutes? I like to talk.
I have to watch them on 2 times speed.
Everything of Reese's we watch on 2 times speed.
Yeah.
Reese,
I get the info. I get the details in there, don't I? Come on, give me some credit. I like. Do you know what I mean?
Credit's given.
Do you talk?
Yes. I do, yeah. Once I woke my
thought
mum up,
so.
so I was
I thought so.
once I woke my mother up because I was apparently in my sleep teaching someone how to play air hockey.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why did I think he was going to say teaching someone how to do a leg drop? And I'd be like, that's Reese.
That's my boy. That's my
That's
boy.
my
You
boy.
teaching the leg
That's my
drop.
boy.
As far
That's
as
how-
the rest of the weekend goes, me and Courtney are going to go live later on TikTok for SmackDown and Hall of Fame.
I'll be sat
Tomorrow
next to Jay.
night, me and Reese are going live for Wrestlemania. Are we still doing that?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I might be at Courtney's, so like she can come on with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine,
that's
not a problem. And then Sunday night, I think Courtney's going to join us and Reese. Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
100%.
Awesome. Right. Thank you, everybody in the comments, for commenting and hanging out with us. It's been fantastic. Make sure you go find us all on our socials. Everybody enjoy WrestleMania weekend. Have a great weekend. Stay safe wherever you are, at home or at WrestleMania, and have an absolute blast.
Also, keep looking
Peace
at
out.
the page because we'll be doing reviews of stuff after Mania as well. So keep an
Of
eye
course.
out on the episodes that will be coming out.
Ross, are we covering Stand and Deliver?
I think we should cover Stand and Deliver.
Surely you
I
guys do it
agree.
as a tag team now.
Because I'm gonna be watching Stand and Deliver with Griggy and Keaton while they're here, but I'll probably go TikTok live, and then what we can do is we can sit down and review it on Monday together.
Yes.
We'll do like
okay.
an in-depth talk and we'll review it there. I think that would work probably best.
That sounds good. That sounds good to
Okay,
me.
cool.
Heck yeah. Sweet.
Right. Peace out, everyone.
See you
Thank you
later,
for another
guys. Thank you
episode.
for watching.
See you next time. Adrenaline in my soul. Something. It's end of the
Cody.
podcast. Bye all.
Peace out.
Bye.